Welcome to Dark Exodus. Welcome to Dark Exodus. Welcome to Dark Exodus. Welcome to Dark Exodus. Dark Exodus.
We gotta stop this shit.
Think about this.
Dark Exodus.
Gotta stop this shit. We gotta stop this shit.
Dark exit. Open your mind.
We gotta stop this shit.
Open your dark exodus.
And we are back. Peace, folks. Welcome back to another edition of the Popular Thought Series right here on the old T.P.O.T I YouTube page. I'm your host, X, of course, but you knew that already. That's why y'all black asses is here. Hey, what's good, brother AJ? My man, good look on that super chat. Brother dropping coins on the platform and the show ain't even started yet. See, this is the type of fans that I have. My man, brother AJ. Yeah, we are back here Thursday night, and y'all know Thursday night is D.X.L night. We're gonna throw down tonight, and we are going to be asking the question: are we wrong about these old mamas? Are we wrong about these old mamas? I don't think we are, y'all. But maybe we might be. I don't know. Are we wrong about these old mamas? But before we get started, as always, y'all know I always gotta start the show off with thanking y'all, for y'all support of this channel. The way y'all support this channel, man, with your coins, with your subscriptions, with your views, with likes, with your shares. It is greatly appreciated, man. I appreciate all of y'all. Everything you do, man. This channel has grown tremendously, and I know it's all because of you good folks that come up in here and watch and support. And I just want y'all to know, man, that I'm thankful, I'm appreciative, I'm honored, I'm humbled, man, because the way y'all support this platform, man, is just outstanding, man. It's official. And I appreciate all you good folks, man. I definitely appreciate you showing up. I appreciate y'all showing up here to these streams every week, man. I appreciate your views, your subscription, and I definitely appreciate the coins that you drop on this platform, because you don't have to do it, but you choose to do it. Yeah, you choose to do it. And for that, man, I'm thankful and I'm appreciative, man. And it's always good, man, to be up here with you good folks, man. And I just want y'all to know, man, that I don't take you for granted. I appreciate all of you. All of y'all are my folks, man. And I thank you. All right. All right. So let's get at it. Yeah. Tonight, D.X.L, we will be I believe we're going to have a mama up here tonight. And I don't know if she's going to try to challenge X's talking points or what. I don't know, folks. Damn, shit's pixelated like a mug. Some light adjustment out this motherfucker or something. Yeah, but I don't know if the mamas are going to try to. What's good, brother Amiri? I see you up there, brother. I don't know if they're going to try to debunk my talking points. I don't know if they're going to try to challenge the things I say. I don't know if they're going to just come up here and cackle and scream and not make no damn sense. I don't know. But we're going to find out, y'all. I got you, brother BMT. I actually had got an email the other day from somebody. I'm not going to mention her name, but she said that she wanted to come up here too. So I'll be waiting on her as well. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not coming up here to, drag them across the carpet or no shit like that. But I'm going to stick to my talking points, as I always do. As I always do, folks. I'm just going to stick to the facts. I'm going to stick to the facts. And I'm going to tell it like it is. And that's pretty much it. I mean, that's all I know how to do, folks. Because y'all already know what I think about
These old mamas.
Dark Exodus.
We gotta stop this shit.
Damn, why is that playing? My damn soundboard is going crazy right now, y'all. Yeah. Y'all already know what I think, man, about these old mamas. So it's pretty much cut and dry. Y'all already know what I'm going to be saying for the most part. Whatever questions I get asked, y'all could probably answer them yourselves by now. But we're going to see. Going to get a couple guests here, I assume. And we're going to see how it goes, y'all. I believe somebody's here right now. Let me bring her in.
Greetings.
Hello, how are you? How do I pronounce your name? Is your name Nachel? Nushel. Okay.
Nushel.
Nushel. Okay. Got you. Don't want to mispronounce your name. So, everybody, this is Nushel. And it's my understanding you and a few other ladies have a little bit of a problem with T.P.O.T. Why don't you explain to the folks what that problem is?
I'm sorry, I lost audio for a second. Could you? Okay, I still am not getting any audio.
No, it's my understanding. You.
Okay, I'm a log out and log back in.
You can't hear me at all?
Now I can. Thank you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Now, it's my understanding that you and a few other ladies have a problem with T.P.O.T. and their talking points. Am I correct in that assertion?
I think some of their talking points are very misguided. And I'm a little different than other ladies because I'm a lawyer. I represent men and women in child custody and family law issues. So a lot of the talking points, they're more emotional than they are valid for the best interest of the child.
Okay. When you say the talking points are emotional, what talking points are you talking about specifically, far as being emotional?
The amount of money that's actually being paid, and the amount of money that's needed to raise a child. Some men have valid concern that they think that, the money is not being used as they would like it to be used, but they have no practical idea of how much it costs to cook a basic meal, how much it costs to have an extra room for a child, or the risk that the mother takes in raising that child daily. She has a risk of going to jail just like he does, but for different reasons. So that's one of the things that I try to counsel my clients on when they come in. They're usually emotionally upset. Some men, I've had one man who had been raising a child for 12 years, and he was just convinced it was his, but he was about to get married. So to make everything formal, he decided to go ahead and he actually was the one that filed for a custody to solidify the custody arrangement. And turned out the child wasn't his, even though it was named after him. So there are situations like that that I've actually had to handle on behalf of men who were done wrong by women. It does happen. You've been mighty quiet.
I'm just listening. I'm listening.
I know.
Because this is my position. Now, when I say, and everyone who's been watching me for years know what I think. Now, when I say these old mamas, the word "these" is an adjective. All right. I'm not talking about every mom out there. I'm not talking about every woman out there. When I say these old mamas, who I'm talking about is not the responsible women, not the women who care about the well-being, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally of their children, not the women who are concerned with the safety of their children, the development of their children, education. Those are not the women I'm talking about. I'm talking about the opposite. I'm talking about the women who put their own needs in front of the children. I'm talking about the women who not only don't give a shit about these children's development, education, safety, or well-being. I'm talking about the women who don't care about these children's lives. As a young boy growing up, I saw a lot of abuse. I saw a lot of neglect. I was privy and talked to about a lot of molestation coming up. I'm aware of many different scenarios and stories that I've heard, people I've interviewed right here on this very platform about mothers who are horrible to their children. Now, I know we as black folks, we see our mom as the golden calf. We came out of her body. But let's be honest, some of us had mamas that wasn't shit. That's just the truth. Now, me, I came up in the 80s during the crack era. I was a young teenager during that era. And I saw the crackheads with big bellies. I saw crackheads dragging their children through the snow. I saw crackheads leaving their babies at home. I've even saw crackheads trying to sell their own children for some of that crack rock. Now, when I talk about these old mamas, those are the mamas I'm talking about. I just want to be clear with that. Now, I know that people take offense to it because we as black folks, we have been indoctrinated to worship our old mama. Mama is supposed to be our most a favorite person in the world. She's the woman that can't do no wrong, and no matter what she do to you, how she treats you, how bad she neglect you, you still have to see her that way. And I think that is a problem in Black society. I think that we are blinded by the so-called worship of our old mama, and it keeps us from seeing her for what she really is. Because let's be honest.
You're right, but for some children, their mother was all they had. Crackhead, alcoholic, poor, or whatnot. That was all they had. And the fear of the unknown forced a lot of these kids to stay in unhealthy environments because they did not know. They didn't know who their father was. They didn't have a relationship with any of their grandmothers or grandfathers. So that's all they knew. And if they don't have their mother and their siblings, what else do they have?
But see, I think that is the very problem. This is why a lot of people turned out the way they are. This is why a lot of our brothers find themselves living lives that they probably wouldn't have ended up living, because all they had was her. And I think that is a major problem within Black society, because many Black children today, all they have is her. And just having her isn't good enough, especially if she's a person who's not only irresponsible, not only a person who isn't concerned with the child's safety, well-being, welfare, but also a person that totally disregards the child's development from a very, very young age. The tender years, birth to 7, birth to 8, those are crucial years in a child's life. So if you have this irresponsible person raising you, if you have this irresponsible person putting you in situations that are detrimental, if you have this irresponsible person allowing other shit to happen to you, whether it be abuse, neglect, molestation from people that she has given access to you. Because make no mistake, when these children find themselves molested, and people look this up, 7 out of 10 times is someone within the child's circle of influence, whether it be mama's boyfriend, Uncle Jimmy, Uncle Bob, or somebody that the mother has left the child with. So your mother brings someone into your life because she has this person in her life. And to me, that means that she has a bit of culpability to whatever happens to this child. Now, of course, these dudes that do this shit to these children are creeps, and they should be hung and quartered more than once. But this creep more than likely would not be in this child's life if the creep wasn't in the mother's life. You understand?
It's very real. Children are abused. And predators prey. They look for vulnerable women with children in order to attack. So if you have children, you have to be on your guard as a woman. That's true. But as a community, we have to help these women too. Just sitting up there saying, these women are bad mothers. Yes, these women are bad mothers, and these bad mothers are raising up bad children, become bad men and bad women. They have no role model. Mm-hmm. There is, the whole idea of Jack and Jill, used to be cornerstone to reach out, the alphas, the kalphas, the deltas, the masons. They used to actually go out and seek people. But now that we are in the apartment dweller phase, where people are like, I don't mess with my neighbor. I don't know nothing about my neighbor. You need to know your neighbor. You need to know your neighbor. You need to check on your neighbor's kids. You need to know who your kids are.
Let me stop you right there. Is it everyone else's responsibility to raise our children? Whether you male, female, black, white, blue, green, whose responsibility is it first and foremost to raise those children? Whose responsibility is that?
First and foremost, it is the parents. I said that parents, not the parent, but parents, both.
Mm-hmm.
Now, personally, I wish a lot of these little heifers would close their legs down. But in places like Texas, the law is actually set up so that a woman that has multiple children, assuming the men make the same amount of money, she actually will get more in child support than she will if she has 2 kids with the same man. So we also have to, a lot of these women aren't dumb. I mean, if you got Bob right there, that's, I'm going to throw these numbers out here. Bob out there who's making $80,000 a year. Well, Bob's child support is going to be about $2,000 a month, 20% for one kid. You get Billy in the mix, that's $4,000. But if you have 2 kids with Bob, that's just 25%. That's just $3,000. So women see the opportunities. There's no longer an incentive for them to stay with one man, either in the legal system or in society in general. The good mothers are not glorified. The good mothers are not rewarded. They're not glorified. The mothers that we have a drug court here where women who, for whatever reason, find themselves on drugs, they get extra help. Their children get extra help. They get tutoring, they get after-school care, they get meals on the weekends. I mean, they coddle them. So if you see a woman that's working hard, she has a job, she is working as a waitress all day, then gets off that job and goes to another job. She's working 12 to 14-hour days to try to support her child. Her child is vulnerable just by the daycare she's putting the child in. I had a friend whose granddaughter was killed at the daycare. The daycare worker, she couldn't afford to pay $200 a week for normal daycare, so she did the hood special. And the girl went off and left a 14-month-old baby laying on the couch so she could go get Jack in the Box for the other kids because she didn't want to cook. So yeah, you have to be very cautious. So who does it take to raise the kids? I mean, it wasn't my kid, but still our community lost a child. And no telling what contribution he could have made had he not been just left and abandoned like he was to die.
Well, let me ask you this, because I've often said many, many times, right? You have these women who have 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 children by 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 dudes, right? Now, I've often said, hey, you lay down, screw some dude, he bounce, he don't want you, he don't want the baby. Fine, I get it. But wouldn't it be prudent after the second one, third one, fourth one, however high we want to go in this number? You're seeing what's going on here. You're seeing that these dudes are knocking you up. They're bouncing. They're doing nothing for the kid. So why should we pity or have any empathy or sympathy for the women who continue to do this over and over and over and over? I know I've seen many, many stories. I know women in my own life who have 6, 7, 8, by 6, 7, 8 dudes. And the question to me is, wait a minute. Where was the 7 kids when you were making number 8? Where were the 6 kids when you were making number 7? Where were the 5 kids when you were making number 6? And so on and so forth. So it puzzles me that these women can find so much time to buck when they already got 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 already? Where is all this time coming from? Where is it coming from? Can you answer that question for me?
Everybody got about 10 or 15 minutes called stress relief. Okay. That hey, break it down. When I was younger, my girlfriend and I, we thought it would get rid of guys by telling them that we had children. I had cats, she had dogs. And she would tell a guy. And she goes, I got 4 kids. They went my mama. I'm like, I got 3. And this guy's like, really? You don't look like you've had any kids. I'm like, yeah, I got 3 babies at home. And he's like, well, I know they're wearing you out. So, just give me a call when you want a little stress relief. And I was like, wait a minute, dude, calm down. Wait, you just heard me say I had 3 kids and you think I'm going to call you? Well, see, I'd be more afraid of you if you said you didn't have any kids. Because if you didn't have any kids, you want a relationship. You want me to give you my time. But when you have a bunch of kids, the only thing you want is stress relief. So I can be in and out real fast, real quick. I said, oh, well, let me tell you, I don't have no kids. I'm looking to get married. Homeboy never bothered me again. So you have to understand it goes both ways. Men are opportunists in a lot of circumstances. As I said, I don't understand a man that would want to pop in with a woman that got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 kids. He just came to bust a nut. So he's not thinking that he's going to have another baby with this woman. If he do, what's she going to do? You ain't paying no child support. You ready to go to jail. So that's part of the mentality. You have to deal with both sides. Can't fix one without fixing the other.
Well, that's where I beg to differ, because man only has one form of birth control, unless he gets a vasectomy or his pull-out game is sharp. As it stands to date, I believe women have about 31, 32, somewhere in there, forms of birth control. And see, this is my problem. And I know everybody know what I'm about to say. A man cannot force a woman to be a mother. He cannot. Even if he wants the kid. If she wants, she won't have it. Right? Can't force her to be a mama. No matter how bad you want a kid, if she say, you know what, I'm not having no baby by you. She can take the morning after pill. She can get the baby aborted. She can wait till the baby's born and fly it to Europe and sell it to some European couple. She can do all kinds of shit. But women can force you to be a parent. Whether you want a kid or not.
How are they going to force you to nut? Let's just be, we're grown-ups here. No woman. No,
we talking after. Fine. We talking after contraception. We talking after copulation. Okay, we talking after copulation. Okay, embryos already conceived.
Okay, I understand that.
When that embryo's already conceived, now a man loses control over his ability to be a parent or not. Right after he ejaculates, all his power's gone right there.
No,
he only has power up until the time he ejaculates. Well, where's his power at after that? Once he's ejaculated in that moment, all his power's gone as a parent.
No.
That all his power is gone.
And you retain your power. You hire a good lawyer and you get your power back. Just like she's going to run to the state that's going to say, we don't represent either one of y'all, but since we don't see any denial of paternity on file anywhere, this man has not publicly said, nope, this is not my child. Even if it is, I don't want it. I am going to terminate my parental rights and responsibilities. I don't want any rights or responsibilities to this child. I'm going to basically bastardize this child. It is still legally possible to do.
Oh, so you're trying to tell me, but even if you give up your parental rights, that doesn't excuse you. That doesn't excuse you from child support,
Yes, it does.
does it?
Rights
That doesn't
and
excuse you from child
responsibility.
support.
Yes,
You're still on the hook for
rights,
child support.
rights and responsibility. You can't have a right without a responsibility. You don't have a responsibility if you don't have any rights. You lose all inheritance rights. You
I
lose
don't know.
everything. You just basically go, no, I don't want to do. Trust me, my dad. Y'all need to meet my dad then, because my biological father was a cold man. My older brother, he stood up there and relinquished his rights to my older brother. With me, homeboy was cold. My mother and father were from California, where they had bifurcated divorces, so they got the divorce right off the bat. She found out she was pregnant after they had officially got the divorce. He went right back in there. He said, "Your Honor," he said, "I picked up a crackhead off the street." He said, "I knew if I cleaned her up, I knew if I walked into that courtroom, that white man was going to see me with a wife, a black woman. He's going to see two-parent homes versus your mother as a single mother. I don't care how good her job at the post office was. I was a school teacher, and this was going to be a stay-at-home mama for you. She was just going to do the cooking and cleaning. He got custody." So do not sit up there and try to be so helpless and say there's nothing we can do. If my daddy would go and find a crackhead, so he can get custody.
I don't know if that one's true. I gotta look that one up, because I don't know about yeah, you can sever your parental rights, but that shit don't sever your wallet. Your wallet gonna be still your paycheck still gonna be connected to that child, even if you're not. I don't think they're gonna just let you off the hook, as far as child support goes.
That's how brothers get caught up. They ignore the paperwork. They do not sit down and go, okay, how can I terminate my rights? How can I terminate my rights? To give a child up for adoption is easy pleasy. Both of y'all terminate your rights. Terminate. You know a person who's giving a child up for adoption that's paying child support? It works both ways. They do not like to what they call bastardize a child. But if you find the right lawyer, there's right lawyer.
I don't want to conflate the point here. My point is that a woman can force you to be a parent. She can force you to be a father or a daddy or whatever you want to call it. She can force you. You can't force her. No matter how bad you want that kid, if she don't want it, that child is gone. She don't even have to tell you that she's pregnant. She can have that baby and leave that baby in the back of the fire department. She can leave that baby on the hospital steps. She can leave that baby at the YMCA. She can leave that baby at the emergency room, walk away, and nothing happens. But if she has that baby and I say, look here, girl, I don't want this baby, and I take that baby and leave that baby at the fire department, about 20 minutes later, the police will be at my damn door. And they ain't there to see if I want to contribute to the policeman's patrolmen's association fund. They ain't there for that. So women can force men to be parents. Men cannot force women to be parents. They can't. We cannot force you women to be a parent. Because if you don't want the baby, you can terminate it. You can give it away. You can leave it at the YMCA.
And if you know all
do that.
Okay, I hear men talking about what they can't do. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 women pregnant at the same time. 5 different mamas pregnant at the same. Can't get pregnant, be carrying 5 different babies. So we have our own lot in life. And so good and damn well, if you can sleep with Bunny on Monday, Cindy on Tuesday, and just line up baby mamas. Because I had a cousin that was at the emergency room going back and forth between babies being delivered by 2 different baby mamas. Third one popped up about 3 weeks later. And it was so sad, she named that baby Keith Morris. But the TH was silent because the baby born Those 3 siblings had to go to school together. So yeah, there's triflingness on all fronts.
But
when I can see a nigga at the hospital going back and
yeah,
forth
but
between the rooms because Keith is being born in one room, Precious is being born in another one, and his 3rd pregnant baby mama is out somewhere calling, texting him every few minutes, talking about when he coming over. No, we all have to do better. We all have to do better. But that is just saying, if you know, once you go in there, it's like when you,
I will concede the point.
It's like, this is what I tell people. Your DNA, I'm just saying it all around. Once your DNA, once you throw it away, the consequences on you, because the cops can grab that DNA and use it. Because, brother, when I sit there and say, I know some girls that literally back in the 90s, they were selling condoms. They were selling condoms to girls who wanted to turkey base themselves. So all that being known by now, brother should just be like, okay, before, you remember, did you see 50 Shades of Grey? You see the movie 50 Shades of Grey? Before he would sleep with her.
I didn't watch it.
Look, before he slept with her, he valued his family jewels. Before he deposited his seed, he had her sign confidentiality agreement. This is the type of birth control you will use at all times. If you do get pregnant, I have already terminated my parental rights. You will not seek. Had her contracted up so officially and so formally. But men do that. That's why you don't see a lot of intelligent men with money having to deal with baby mama drama, even though they out there, doing the do just like you, but they understand they need to protect their family jewel. And I don't hear Black men telling other Black men, protect your family jewels. Those are your jewels. Those are your seed. Don't just be dropping your seed. See, that's why Moses got in trouble, because he spilled his seed on the earth. You guard those seeds. And you won't have to be worrying about these mamas over there, because there would be a lot fewer of them.
Now, I will concede the point that there are some brothers out there who aren't doing what they're supposed to do as far as their children are concerned. But when we talk about those brothers, we're talking about a very, very minute portion of Black men, and I'll tell you why. 52% of Black men are childless. That's just a statistical fact. 52% of Black men have no children whatsoever. About 25% of Black men who have children are married, right? So you're talking about 75% of Black men who are out of the picture, right? We can't even talk about them, because you got 52% who don't have children at all. Then you got the 25% who are married with children. So that's 75% of Black men who are totally out of the picture. So let's talk about the other 25%, right? Now, out of that 25%,
so that 25%, that 25% are getting 20% of the unwed babies in the Black community.
No, hold on. I'm not finished. Out of that 25%, about 12 to 13% of those dudes are cohabitating with women with children. So you're talking about maybe 12%, and I'll even say 15, maybe 15% of Black men who are running around having kids and are deadbeats, as the quote unquote deadbeat would be explained. That's only about 15% of Black men. But see, here's the kicker. A lot of these women who are having these babies, a lot of these women are having these babies with the same guy. They're having the babies with the same. It's not like 70% of these women are having babies with 70% of the guys. No, you got 70% of these women having babies with 20% of the guys. That's why you have these situations. I like to call them 2 for 2s, 3 for 3s, 4 for 4s. And the reason why I say that is because you'll have a chick who got 4 kids. She's on her 4th baby daddy. But that dude, she is his 4th baby mama. That's what you call a 4 for 4. She's his 4th baby mama. He's her 4th baby daddy. So you got a big contingent of women having babies with a small contingent of guys. That's why you have these dudes with 10 baby mamas, 20 baby mamas, 30 baby mamas. Because, see, all of these women are having kids with the same dude.
Or it
That
could be.
in
Let me think
itself.
about your statistics. Statistics are nice. My uncle was happily married for 27 years, had 5 children with his wife. But when we went to do his obituary, there were 27 other kids that we knew about. So just because a man is married does not mean he's not contributing to the baby mama drama. That's also part of the statistic you have to account for.
Well, now I'd be inclined to agree with that, but the stats just don't bear that out. They don't bear that out that these dudes who are married with children
Do you know how many
in
phone
their
calls
home
I
with their
got?
wife and they
Do you know how many phone
got
calls I got over the stimulus check?
5 and 6 baby mamas somewhere else.
Do you know how many married men did not
Go ahead.
get a stimulus check and their wives didn't get their stimulus check either because dude owed child support for other children outside their household? There were a lot of calls going on over the last couple of weeks because a lot of married men, when they're younger, they have children. Then they get older, they settle down, they get married. They're included in the statistics as married men. They have a wife, they have children with their wife, perhaps they even are stepfathers to her children. They're in that married men statistic. But that doesn't mean that that might not be their first wife. That might be their second wife. That might be their 3rd baby mama that they finally married. I mean, statistics can be screwed all around. But what I'm saying is, if you don't want a bad baby mama raising your child, I had a client that did the okey doke. He moved into the hood apartments so he could save up money for a house. But he liked to party with his boys, So the hood chicks would come, Section 8 chicks would come. You knew they were Section 8 chicks. You got drunk one night, got one of them knocked up. I'm like, dude, how you'd be so dumb. So she already had 2 kids. Came up with a brilliant strategy. He decided, since she had 2 other kids and he had the means to hire a nanny, he would pay her $400 a month, which was a lot more than, he was like, if I have to pay child support and she lives with her, I'll be paying about $600, but this child will be in this environment. And I know my house is getting built. So he did. He paid this woman $400 to let him have his child. He figured that one day her siblings were going to grow up and it was a win-win. Her siblings would respect him and respect her because he gave their mother money and he would let the kids interact and grow up with each other. But his daughter grew up in a much, much better atmosphere than her siblings, who had an abusive mother, who later got her shit together. I mean, she's like in her, she's in her late 40s. She's married now. She's married to a guy now that she's in her 40s. But again, he didn't have no kids. She'd already raised all her kids. They are a perfect match for each other now. And she has a beautiful daughter that was raised by her father, who did not want his child to be raised by one of those women. I'm just saying.
Let me ask you this. Do you believe that being a baby mom is a good thing? Is that a good thing? A baby mama with multiple baby daddies. Is that a good thing?
No.
So
it was hard enough on me.
Why do we have? So explain why we have such an epidemic. Why is it that 7 out possibly 8 at this point if you go into like the inner city areas. Why is it 7 or 8 out of 10 black babies being born out of wedlock? We already know that that's not a good thing. We already know that when you have these situations, the children are less likely to go to a good school. They're less likely to have a decent education, are likely to be molested, abused, neglected, beat, and they're also more likely to be growing up in poverty. Now, we have all that knowledge, right? And women are the quote unquote keepers of the culture. They are the children's first teacher and all this kind of stuff. So, why hasn't the trend moved downward? Why haven't you, older women, spread this knowledge and drop this game on the younger women, especially you women that have been through it, who have 2 and 4 and 5 baby daddies already? Why would you women continue to let women continue to do the shit that fucked y'all lives up? Why are there not more women out there telling these younger women?
I don't know if you can hear me. I lost your audio again.
Get on the pill.
My brother, can
get
you hear
on
me?
the patch.
I lost
get
all
on
audio
the North
again.
plant. Yeah, I can. You can't hear me? You can't hear me? Can't hear me?
It's coming in now. Now I got you.
You might have to go out again. You might have to go in and go out again. Can you hear me now?
I got you good now. I got you good.
No, what I'm saying is, because we have this knowledge, all right? We have this knowledge about the potential problems, because nothing is written in stone. But we know that kids who grow up without their daddy, and especially when they're a kid growing up where there's multiple daddies, but none of the multiple daddies are around, we know that these kids are more likely to grow up living in poverty. We know that these kids are more likely to grow up in the goddamn ghetto. We know that these kids are more likely to grow up to suffer with education, development, and all that kind of stuff. We know that these kids are more likely to be abused, neglected, mistreated. We also know that these kids have a tendency to grow up to be criminals, robbers, rapists, killers, incarcerated, dead. The stats bear that out. There's no disputing that this is the thing. So why is it that women who have come from other generations, women that have went through this, women who have not only fucked the kids' lives up, but having all these children might have fucked their lives up? Why don't we hear more women talking the shit us guys talk when it comes to these kids? Why don't we hear more than that?
Very simply, because you have the Ben Carsons, you have the Thomas Souls, who you can't. Yes, you have the Simone. What's the gymnast's last name? You have all of these people who came from very poor. Their mothers were these mamas. They came from poor environments. So there was a push in society to actually reward companies who hired these women. SBC, Southwestern Bell, AT&T, whatever you want to call it. They hired women off welfare. You had a lot of the banks started hiring women off of welfare to give them a better life, a better existence. Whereas you had the people who went to college, maybe worked 2 jobs to put themselves through college, didn't have kids. Then you have brothers who say, oh, I don't want an educated woman because she'll think she'll make more money than me. She'll think she's better than me. So you do have the reality of some things. For example, I'll give you, like I said, I'm a lawyer. I went straight through. So by the time I was 25 years old, I'm looking at so many people that have kids. They all have kids. Some of them are married, some of them aren't. But women were telling women not to get married at a young age. Just have fun. do what you need to do, because once you have kids, the first child makes you go down. I hate to say it like this, as a commodity. Successful men who don't have kids, they're not looking for a pre-made family. So those women are bumped down to another category. They're no longer fresh meat, so to speak. Then by the time in that other category, they're looking for love. They find that second creep, they get the second baby daddy. So women go down in their value as far as dating goes. Men, as they get older, they go up in value. Our older women did not want to admit that, even us. I hear women now going, oh girl, 60 is the new 40. Sit your old ass down. But
see,
now,
go ahead.
Good and daggone well, the 60s heralded in this new breed of women, and I don't understand it, and it's probably gonna come back and bite me one day, but I'm gonna say it like this. There were a lot of women, the only thing they had to do was get up in the morning and look pretty, and the Black woman would come in and cook breakfast for the husband, cook breakfast for the kids, and while she figured out what party she was going to go to, what luncheon, the Black woman cleaned up her house. And she said she was bored. I want to go back. I want to work. Charles, I want to work. Please, Charles, I want to work. And so all of a sudden, they opened up everything so she could have her own bank account. She could do everything that a Black woman had been doing all along. We might not have been able to open up a legitimate bank account, but we had our own money. We knew how to balance our own finances. We knew how to hold a full-time job and raise our kids. We had that down already. But somehow in the 70s, our craving to be like them, because we thought that our Black men liked their look better. So Black women started trying to act like them. That I have heard Black men say, well, a white woman would go ahead and fall down on her knees in a hybrid and give me a blowjob. And some women believe that myth. And so trying to compete with what they saw on TV, the video vixens. Look at this crap the kids listen to now, where it's, hey, she's a bad bitch. She's what does it say? She's a bad bitch. She sucked dick right before going to the dentist. That's what our kids are hearing every day, not stay in school, and keep your legs closed.
But who's giving them, and we go back to these old mamas again, who's giving these kids access to this, especially the little tykes? When you're a little tyke, you don't have any money, you don't have a job, you don't have a career. So who's giving you the access to Meg Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj, Lil Wayne? Who's giving you the access to the baby's music when you're 12? You don't have a job, so you're not buying it. You don't have a job, so you're not buying TVs or paying the cable bill. So who's giving these children access to this stuff? Who's buying the CDs? Who's buying the televisions? Who's not monitoring what comes on the television? It takes us back to these old mamas. Am I wrong?
I mean, it's a job. I just had to announce my youngest daughter. I'm saying it's a job. It's a job. Just over broke when you are a parent. You are just over broke. And yes, monitoring. I mean, me and my friends share stories. It's like when we were little, our parents used to just talk about how. Now we got to sit there and say what video spyware we got on their phones and what we got in their rooms, so we can make sure that if they get on our computer, the alarm goes off. We got all kinds of passwords on everything. But I try to monitor where my kids go. They're father does not believe in that philosophy. He believes they should be around his parents. They should be around his sister. That is his prerogative. I don't agree. But hey, look, his mama was a teenage mama. And hey, she was able to go back to school, and her son got a scholarship to go play football. And hey, why not? I'm trying to make them be white by not letting them listening to music that is pumped constantly on black radio stations that are owned by old white guys who are making caricatures of us. That during the 90s, I worked for African Heritage Network. I sat right in the room when Frank Mercado Valdez, the founder of African Heritage Network,
You're fading in and out, and you're
Black
frozen
people are
too.
not like other people. We don't have
Can you
to
hear me?
advertise. If they see
Can you hear me?
a black face
Can you?
or hear a black voice,
I don't think she can hear me, y'all.
they'll stop it and pay
I don't think she can hear me, y'all. Can you hear me, Nichelle? Can you hear me? I don't think she can hear me, y'all. You're frozen and you're fading in and out. Oh, now she's gone. But yeah. I mean, y'all say that she's tap dancing around the questions. Tap dancing ain't the world. It's more like the electric boogie or the because even if fine, like she says, she wants to blame it on the music and all that kind of stuff. But who's giving these 12-year-olds access to this crap? They're 12. They don't have a job. So those CDs with Nicki Minaj and Lil Wayne and the Baby and all these kind of people, who's buying it? Who's buying it? Who's buying the televisions? Who's paying the cable bill? So no matter how you slice it, man, these old mamas is giving these kids access to this shit. There's no getting around it. There's no outrunning it. She tried to outrun it, but there's no outrunning it. These old mamas, all right, are doing this shit because we know, those of us who had fathers in our lives, when you have a father in your life, there's certain shit you're not going to be doing. That's just the truth. Like if you got a father in your life and you a 10-year-old girl, you ain't listening to Lil Wayne or Nicki Minaj. Not in his house, you're not. Maybe when you go to your stupid ass friend's house who raised my old mama, you might be hearing it over there, but you're not listening to Lil Jeezy and all these folks in your pappy's house. Just like you ain't hanging out with boys and shit like that when you're living in your pappy's house. Because us pappies, we don't play that. But old mammies do. These old mammies let these children do anything as long as they stay the hell out of their hair. Girls 10, 11, 12 years old got Facebook accounts, Twitter accounts, Instagrams, and Snapchats. How much you want to bet every single one of them girls live home with their old mama? See, I was letting her talk because, see, you know me. I was going to get into the whole abuse thing because we all know. Oh, she's back. I think. I don't see anything. Let's see. It's blank, y'all. Y'all know how to scam stream, y'all. It's crazy. Up, it's just a circle. It's
You
just
don't
a
have any
circle,
video?
y'all. Something going on here.
I'm putting the video
What the
on.
hell happened?
Video on my phone.
Are you there?
Now, do y'all have video? I'm here. I'm here. Can you see me? Do you have video?
Might be my shit. Might be fucking up.
Maybe you can't see me.
You know that's known to happen up in here. That's known to happen up in here. Can y'all hear me out
It
there?
happens. I can hear you just fine.
Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me, folks? Can you hear me, folks? Let me see. I might have to switch to this other internet connection, man, because something might be going on here. It might be on my end, y'all. That's that.
Can you still hear me? Okay, I think we lost each other again.
Can you hear it? Michelle, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you just fine.
Okay. I don't know what went on. I don't know what was on my end, so I went ahead and jumped to another internet connection. So the screen might have went boom on the YouTube end for a minute because I had to jump internet connections right quick because I thought on my end that we were having problems with. But we still live though. So now before you we were talking about the music that these children listen to, and I was saying to you that fine, you know, the music has influenced them, you know, the Meg the Stallions and the Cardi B's and the Little Waynes and all these people are influencing the children. And I said, okay, I'll give you that argument, but who's giving these children access to this stuff? Who's buying the 12-year-old the Cardi B CD? Who's buying the 12-year-old the 60-inch TV for her to watch Nicki Minaj's videos? Who's buying the hooker style, slut style clothes that these 12-year-old girls are wearing? Who's buying this stuff? Who's furnishing these girls with this stuff?
Oh, it's the parents.
These girls are 11,
no
12.
doubt.
They don't have a
It's
job.
definitely the parents. And when you have, I mean, come on, look at Lil Wayne, Wayne's kid, whatever his name is. Look how crazy he's walking around looking to everybody right now.
Now, I talk a lot about how children find themselves abused and molested. I talk about that a lot. And I know that according to statistics, between 60 and 70%, as reported, according to the CDC, 60 to 70% of Black girls are molested by the time they're 16. 25% of Black boys are molested by the time they're 16. Somewhere between 70 and 75%, like I said before, it's usually someone who is within their circle of influence. Now, with all these children getting molested, with all these children getting touched, because 7 out of 10 is a big number, all right? 7 out of 10 means that I can go somewhere, stand in the middle of black women, pick up a handful of gravel, close my eyes, and just throw it up haphazardly, and I'm guaranteed to hit somebody who was molested as a child. I'm guaranteed. If I'm standing in the middle of a crowd of black women, and I reach down and grab a handful of gravel, and just close my eyes and throw it up, I'm guaranteed to hit somebody who's been molested as a child. Now, that being said, do you believe that when these children find themselves getting molested, that the mothers are totally unaware of it?
I think it depends. And I'm going to say that because I've talked to a lot of people who were molested, and the circumstances were such that it was not a boyfriend. It was not someone who was in the home. So that person had the ability to intimidate the child, make the child fearful of retaliation against him or the mother if the person were to have gotten in trouble. I've had one circumstance where, God help, the mother, she was just basically selling used furniture out of her garage as a form of, so obviously strange people came to her house. One gentleman asked, could he go to the bathroom? Her daughter just happened to be in the bathroom, and he took advantage of the opportunity. So not all the time, but if a person knows is going on, it's not a single incident, yes, the mother should be held accountable, just an accessory before or after the fact is still an accessory. If you find out about it and you cover it up, you're accessory after the fact. That is a criminal offense. If you know about it beforehand and you don't stop it, you can be an accessory before the fact. So yeah, I do think it's appalling. But I think you have to be very careful because there are teachers that are molesting kids. There are clergy that are molesting kids. There are camp counselors. There's so many different realms in which we send our children into on a daily basis while we get on with our lives, that they can be molested. So it's not always these mothers, the bad boyfriend. Yeah, women, you shouldn't bring a guy around your kids until you really know him. You really should not bring, and guys, don't bring your girlfriend around your kids either.
Why? All right, let's get to the meat and potatoes of this, okay?
Okay.
I'm of the mind of this. Why bring the guy around the kid at all? Why bring the guy around the kids at all? Why can't you go and fuck this hotel at his house, I don't know, on the ground in the park? Why the guy be around the kids? You already a baby mama 2, 3, 4 times over, right? Already. So why would you?
But one of the reasons why women
feel
bring
the need
men
to
around
bring
their
these
kids
men
because
around
they
these
consider
children?
that a relationship. Maybe this is a potential stepdaddy. I don't know too many stepdaddies that are going to take on the package.
But this is just the thing. This goes to my point again with these old mamas. First and foremost, and I talked about this last night, right? Now, if you're a man, right, that actually have something going for yourself, and you meet some woman, and she's got 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 kids, you're not going to be interested in moving in with her, especially if you have your own shit. So the fact that a man is willing to move in with you over top of your kids and co-mingle with your kids, that should be a red flag to you. But I guess it's not a red flag to these women because, see, they are women who are also willing to let a man come live over top of their kids. So they're like two peas in a pod. He's somebody who probably living in his grandma's attic. She's somebody who just want to get a Negro in the crib that she can call her own, totally disregarding the kids. Because I'm going to tell you right now, when it comes to this molestation, and people don't want to admit this shit either, like I just said, 70% of the time, it's somebody that's within the child's circle of influence. It's not the stranger down the block. It's not the rapist from the town over. All right. It's not somebody that the parent don't know, the kid don't know, nobody in the family knows. That's only about 25% of the time. 7 out of 10 times, it's mama's boyfriend. It's Uncle Jimmy. It's some dude that is at a house where mama left the kids at. So 70% of the time, your old mammy has given this creep access to you. Like I said earlier.
So we should
the creep has access to your life.
Nobody should allow their brothers around their daughters or their sons. No one should allow their grandfather, because I know some grandfathers that molested the kids. At some point in time, it does not have to be those women. I know a grandfather who was the deacon of a well-respected church, preacher of a well-respected church. When all the shit hit the fan, it was like, who hadn't been molested in that family? This must be a generational thing. Your granddaddy molested, your daddy molested. It went on generation to generation. And this woman, the mother, was not one of those type of women. So we can't just say those type of women, because she has a doctorate degree in education. She is highly, highly acclaimed, but her child was molested by her husband's father. So don't just say those mamas.
Well, let me ask you something. I always hear about, women intuition. They know when their guy's cheating. They know when something's going on. They know when something's going on with their end. Their spidey senses tingle, if you will. So how come their goddamn spidey senses don't tingle when the baby's getting touched? How come the spidey senses don't tingle when her boyfriend is going into the baby's room at night? How come their spidey senses don't tingle when Uncle Jimmy is touching the baby? You see where I'm going here?
I understand.
It seems like for some reason when these kids are getting touched, these old mamas spidey senses don't seem to work for that.
I mean, if it's your man, if it's the stepfather who's sleeping, if it's the stepfather, you're going to notice when he gets up out of bed, and you should take action, because why are you out of the bed? But if you're looking at all these platitudes of situations where mothers are in the kitchen cooking, and maybe Uncle Jimmy's watching TV, and in that bat of an eye, what happened to the kids? They loud all the rest of the time. Why you get quiet? That's why I grew up in a household where if you didn't hear the kids talking, mama was coming. Because if y'all got quiet, something up. I didn't allow my kids around male members of their family. I slept when we would go to family reunions or go visit his mother and stepfather. I literally would sleep down on the ground with the kids, always in the same room with my daughters, because they wanted to spend time with their cousin, knowing full well the one time I had left them alone to watch TV, my daughters told me, our little cousin tried to get us to suck his dick. I said, excuse me? He wanted us to kiss his penis.
Mm.
And the grandmother said, oh, you have to worry about them being sexualized. Hopefully they won't be frigid because of this incident. Yeah, those mamas. And if you met the bitch, you would probably sit up there and go, oh, why are you calling your mother-in-law a bitch? Because there are a lot of mother-in-laws out there are bitches. A lot of those hoes from the 70s and 80s, they got sons now, and they are encouraging their sons to be just as ratchet as the men were in their lives. So that's one of the things you do also have. We need to end the ratchet cycle, because the white man was very smart. He pulled from the bottom and put it at the top. Pulled from the bottom and put it at the top. White man's philosophy: treat a hoe like a princess and a princess like a hoe, and you'll always be in control. And that's what he did. So right now, we're not celebrating these beautiful Black women that have done so much. They make a point of saying, look at Simone, the greatest gymnast in the world. She was from a crackhead mama. Look at Ben Carson. His mama was on welfare. He's now over HUD because he grew up in the hood. Thomas Sowell. Oh yeah, his mama was a crackhead too. These women have notoriety that the good mothers do not necessarily have. So we as a Black race, we need to start celebrating and encouraging the good mother, the good father. We as a people, we are in charge of teaching our kids that no, we don't do that. No, that's not our real culture. We're not keeping it real. That's a false narrative. And we'll reduce some of the baby mama dramas that we have in the society today. Because personally, I think it's disgusting.
Yeah, but when you talk about the Thomas Sowells and Ben Carsons and people like that, I mean, we all know that these people are exceptions. These people are one-offs. I mean, in those hoods, it ain't no whole bunch of Ben Carsons coming out of there. No whole bunch of rocket scientists coming out of there, or quantum physicists or shit like that coming out of there. I mean,
We know
most
that,
of
but
these
that's
kids that's growing up in these hoods with these old jackass mamas, okay, who don't give a shit. They got 4 and 5 baby daddies. They treat the babies like shit. Black children are more likely to be killed by their mothers than any other child. Black kids are more likely to be abused. Black kids are more likely to have their education totally disregarded. All right. And not only that, black children that are born in a house with a single ass mama, like I said before, are more likely to end up in jail, in the ground, on drugs, homeless, a life of poverty, all that kind of shit. So if you have women who continue to do this, and we're not just talking about, forget the molestation and the abuse and all that kind of shit. Let's talk about the beatings. Let's talk about the violence. If you go to a neighborhood right now, let's say somewhere like St. Louis or Detroit or Chicago, go to those cities where people are being shot and killed by the dozens every weekend. You walk around that neighborhood and canvass that goddamn neighborhood and knock on 100 doors. I guarantee you at least 90 of them damn doors, some old baby mama gonna answer. Why? Because the places where they're being overrun by these old mamas are some of the most dangerous places in America for Black folks. Now, people say, oh, white folks do it too. Yeah, white people do it too. So you know what that means? Whenever white folks catch a cold, Black folks catch the coronavirus. We know that. So if we're going to say that white people do it too, we already know that it's tenfold for us. So explain why the most violent places when it comes to Black people, the most violent cities, the most violent commonwealths, the most violent hamlets and towns are being overrun with baby mamas. And I'm going to tell you why. Because, see, these children suffer, and they suffer greatly. I talk about it a lot. These children are beat. These children are starved. These children are punished with draconian methods, and usually for the most minor infractions. It's not like they running around and breaking out windows of the house and flattening mama's tires on the car. I have seen children get the bricks beat off them, coming out with the wrong color shirt on. I've seen kids beat down to the ground. And I'm not talking about kids who are 10, 11, 12. I'm talking little tykes, 3, 4, 5. Get beat down to the ground for leaving a sock in the middle of the floor. Get beat over the top of their head with a shoe because they spilled water on the table. You see where I'm going here?
Yes,
So,
and I'm saying that's one of the reasons why you have that's why you have more violence in those communities, because if the only way that you learn how to discipline a child is through violence, hitting them, submission, as a woman, you're going to quickly learn by the time the child is about 12 years old, their boys are usually getting just as big as you are. So you can no longer physically constrain them. You lose all control. And these boys have learned submission. They have to be submissive to their mother. And they grow up and they get around men, and there's a testosterone-driven power struggle. But no, you're not going to make me submit like my mama do. No, you're not. So they get more and more violent because that is the only thing that they were taught to deal with and reflect on the errors of their ways was through violence. You fuck up, you get fucked up. That's simple.
So where are they learning this violence from?
As I said, the mothers.
They're learning from their old mammy. Why? Because their mama's violent. If you're a type of woman who beat your kid over every little thing, you are a violent ass person.
She doesn't have coping mechanisms, because most of us grew up. I was in a room with 100 attorneys, and there was one black guy. He goes, "I'm really trying to raise my son like we're a middle class family, not like we were raised." And I said, "Your son needed his ass whooped for staying out too late." Okay. He was grounded and snuck out. So that's when you whoop his ass. When you tried to ground him and that didn't work, you already tried other methods, whoop his ass. Give him a good belt whooping. He goes, "Middle class people don't do that." I was like, yo, you 98 other white people in this room, all lawyers, raise your hand if you didn't get your ass whooped when you were a child. All the white guys raised their hand. I said, "Did your mom or your dad spank you?" White men. My dad would have a paddle, special paddle. My mom would usually just throw a shoe at me or something like that. So it's not necessarily that Black women are violent by nature. It's if there's not a man in the house to discipline the children, there's an overcompensation of discipline. If I'm sitting up there telling you, white fathers are bragging about drilling holes in paddles so they can hit them harder with it, who sounds like they much more sadistic? I'm not sitting up there planning an instrument of torture for my child in case they mess up. But a lot of white people have those. Or they'll say the mother has her favorite little spoon she hit their hands with if they misbehaved while they were eating. So again,
but see, I don't believe that. I just don't believe that women are overcompensating. What I believe is this. I believe that women, especially these old moms, I believe that they are taking their frustrations out on the children. The frustrations that they have with their lives, the frustrations they have with these men, these fathers of these children who don't want their black ass no more, and they take those frustrations out on the kid. When she's growing across your head with that high heel shoe because you left a sock on the floor, she's not going across your head because you left that sock on the floor. She's going across your head because she's frustrated that your old daddy don't want you or her anymore. When she's going across your ass with those racetracks because you spilled some water on the table, it's not because you spilled water on the table. She's beating your ass because she is frustrated with the fact that she has to have you and take care of you and raise you by herself. But what she's doing is taking out she's taking out frustrations on the wrong person though.
But didn't you just say she could drop that baby off at the fire station? Didn't you just say mothers had it so easy?
She
She could have
absolutely can.
just dropped the kid off.
No, I didn't say easy. What I said was, I said that women can force a man to be a parent. I said that a man can't force a woman to be a parent. Why? She can take that baby, get it aborted. She can have that baby adopted. She can not even tell you that she's pregnant. She can have that baby and leave it in the back of the fire department and walk out and go on with her life. I said that. Saying. But
that's what she's that frustrated. Yeah, that's what she needs to do. She can do it. We need to get that message out there. That's the solution to ending these mamas. Tell them you can drop that baby off at the fire station rather than hit little nay quay. You just go take right to the fire station, police department, or to the hospital. Just drop him off before you hit the baby. Just do that. That's the solution right there. You talking the solution. Maybe these Black women need to be informed that there is a solution. There's a way out. The easiest way out is to drop the baby off.
Well, see, this is the thing. I believe that many of these children that come from these women, they don't really want these kids. Not really. I think that, number one, a lot of these women have laid down and fucked irresponsibly with some old irresponsible Negro. Mm-hmm. And oops, I'm pregnant. Oops, I got a baby. So now I gotta clothe it, house it, feed it, and put him on the bus for a few years. And with that comes what? Check and all that kind of shit.
Do you men really think these little miserable?
I don't believe that these women really want these kids. I don't think they really want these kids.
Then they don't know how to get rid of them.
It's a necessary evil due to an irresponsible decision that they have made. And they continue to make the same irresponsible decision and creating more necessary evil that they have to deal with. I think a lot of these women don't want these kids. It just so happened that they have to get fucked without a rubber.
My younger cousin is probably the epitome of the word baby mama that you're talking about. She has 6 kids. I think it's about 6 different men. I swear on the Bible, 6 different men. But I can tell you one thing. Her oldest daughter had a baby, came to my place, didn't know she was pregnant. Mama kicked out. Mama said, no, you should learn from me. You got to go. She got pregnant again. She gave that second baby up for adoption because she had people around her who could tell her, look, you already got one. You can everyone's trying to help you take care of that one. Let's give that other baby a better life. Now I can honestly tell you the youngest child will go to college because she has 5 older brothers and sisters that are doing everything to help her. And it's not the fact that, oh, she wanted the baby, she tried to trick a guy. No, I knew each and every one of the baby daddies, and it was just, things just did not work out. I mean, one of the baby daddies is a really nice guy, comes, gets his son who has dialysis treatment. The father who's there in the house now with those 6 kids, nice guy, didn't have any kids at all. Came from a big family himself, had avoided having kids, and got with her. And he's being a good father for his daughter. He's raising his daughter. She will go to college. So we can't just say they didn't want these kids. Sometimes even the dad wanted the kids before the kids got there and their lives changed because they had additional responsibilities. You can't go to the club. You know, first kid, you might be able to get a babysitter. 2 kids, oh, it's getting hard to get a babysitter. 3 kids. Bitch, you out of your mind? Anybody watching all 3 of those kids? 4 kids, it was just kind of like, oh, you look like you got a daycare. You look, you're running a daycare. But she cared for all those kids. And I know when she got on hard times, she struggled. She lived in her car until I was like, you know, something, this don't make no damn sense. I told my mother, I said, I'm sending her over to your house. Will you watch the kids? She said, sure. I arranged with Child Protective Services for a place at the shelter for the girl. I called another friend of mine and I said, can you get her a job at your call center? I know she loves those kids. She wants to keep them all together. And she just didn't know her options. She wanted her kids. She loved her kids. But yes, she had been raised by a mother and a father up until she was about 14. Her dad went to jail, where trying to be tough was the form of parenting that she had learned. And her mother was very abusive to her, and she was abusive to her child because her mother was abusive to her because she didn't want to get beat when her husband got home if the kids had made a mess. So she taught her daughter those same tactics that you don't want. It's not fair to bring, when he walk in the door, the first thing you do is start telling him what the kids have done wrong. So you need to discipline him yourself because he's tired when he got off work. Speaking of kids.
Well, I don't want to keep you too much longer. I want to ask you this one last question.
Sure.
What stopped you? Because you say you're an attorney, and I assume you have kids, right? You have a couple kids.
Yeah.
What stopped you from becoming one of these old mamas? What stopped you from becoming that?
My girlfriend's great grandfather gave us a sit down at church and told it to us like this. He said, back in my day, he said, you either had to buy it or rent it. Wasn't nothing for free. He said, I would rather hear you girls come to me and tell me you some high dollar call girl somewhere charging for your pussy than run around there giving it away for free. If you ain't married, then you better charge the niggas. And so it was just a very simple thing. Older men set the standards for society. They set the standards for how their daughters, how their sisters, how their nieces. So I was always blessed that I had strong men in my life. My nephew told a guy when I went on the date with him, if I hear a shoe coming off, I swear I will kill you. So it was a very, men in my family held me to a high standard.
You had what in your life?
Men, strong men.
There it is. There it is. That's what I'm talking about. If you don't have men in the equation is all fucked up. 2 + 2 isn't equaling 4 anymore. It's equaling 3 or some other shit. Or 7, as Brother RBR says. So you would think that with all these women getting jammed up with all these kids, knowing that if they find themselves pregnant, the chances are pretty good that if this dude take off, you're going to be stuck with the kid. You would think that women would be just a little bit more responsible, not just with who they lay down with, but the decision making on having a kid in the first place. Because you can't tell me that you can't go out there and get all the dick you want and not get pregnant. You can't tell me that.
You can.
I think that
I had my first.
You can go out there and fuck all the dick you want and not bring children into the world. Because see the thing with me. I don't care what adult women do. Do what you want. You're an adult. Do whatever you want. But when you start
I hate to do this to you. Let's have this conversation again. I want to do round 2. But I'm gonna have to run right now.
That's cool.
So it's been a pleasure and an honor. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
All right. Peace. Yeah. So that went kind of different. I kind of expected her to come with a little more heat folks. I expect her to come with a little more heat. She didn't really come with a lot of heat, y'all. I'm about to put the link in the chat. Whoever wants to. What the hell is going on, man? My computer has been acting really, really insane, man, the last like couple of weeks. Might be time for another laptop out this. It might be time for another laptop. Yeah, put this here link in the chat if you brothers want to come through and give your input on this here. But I thought she was gonna come with some more heat, y'all. You know, I expected her to come with a little more heat. To be honest, I ain't gonna lie. I really expected her to come with a little more heat, folks. And like I said, anybody who wants to come on, and the other chick that wrote me, she didn't show up, but I kind of figured she wouldn't. Just talking. Just a talking. Just a talking. I'm trying perfect blackness. I've been trying that for months, my brother. I've been trying that for months. Unsuccessfully, brother. Unsuccessfully. I have tried. I've tried, brother, perfect blackness. I have tried. My attempts have been unsuccessful. Yeah, my attempts have been unsuccessful. I'll keep trying though, because I know that's what the brothers want to see. I know the brothers want to. I know the brothers want to see that, brother perfect. I know that's what they want to see, man. And I'm gonna try to make it happen, man. I am. You know me, I'm always working on some shit behind the scenes. I'm always trying. You know, always trying. Yeah, I mean, she was very laid back. You know, she was very calm. I mean, so, you know, I kind of expected it to get a little heated. It gets a little heated when I had these conversations with ladies, but she, you know, but then again, you know, since she says she's a lawyer and, you know, so, you know, she obviously, you know, got some sense and know something about life. So that's probably why I didn't, you know, if she was one of them, you know, hood hoes, they would have came up here talking crazy and ended up getting kicked off. Yeah, I was supposed to have brother Anthony. It was supposed to be like 3 coming on tonight. Supposed to be giving old X the business. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, man. Oh shit. Brother Chaos down there. Let me bring him up. Brother Chaos, what's good with it, man?
What's good, man? That was very interesting, man. You got them, man. You got at them, man.
You know,
yeah.
It wasn't what I expected. I expected a little more heat. I expected her to be a little more, you know, staunch in her positions. I mean, it actually went rather light tonight. I mean, because you know me, I came loaded for bear. You know, I got stats on fathers and all that kind of shit, but I didn't have to pull none of that shit out. So, I mean, I guess it went all right. You know, I know the brothers came, boy. They was ready. I know the brothers came to see some shit, boy. They expected to see fireworks. And to be honest with you, I thought it was going to be a few fireworks too. But I mean, she came in, she was calm, she was, you know, she was level-headed, you know, she was measured. So, you know, and I was trying to push her buttons a little bit, and you know, Nothing. So, you know, I wouldn't mind having her back on again. No problem. No problem.
That's what's up.
You know,
That's what's up.
no problem. Yeah, I know, Lady Ruby. She wasn't. Yeah, she wasn't. Come on up, Lady Ruby, if you want to. Come on up. Come on up in here. Come on up in here, Lady Ruby. If you feel like it. If you don't feel like it, don't. But if you feel like it, come on up. And that go for anybody out there. You know, you come on up, man. Come on up and you know. Brother Anthony said one more female tonight. Who the hell is this? LaShan. Brother LaShan, what's good with it, man?
Man. God dang, man. Oh, Lord, that was... I still got to collect my thoughts because she done did... you know how we say a woman double talks?
Mm-hmm.
This chick done quadruple talked herself. And the one question I got to say is, why is it? Out of all the examples you use for the example, is people in your own damn family, but you whitewashing it like you Tom Sawyer, saying all men, but you got every minute excuse you can for a woman, and then you say you're a lawyer and you defend men and women, but do you tell your male clients that paid you who forced you to nut in them? I mean, literally. Okay, granted, I didn't finish my college degree because I was paying out of pocket. But I'll be damned. How the hell are you supposed to be a lawyer? And I know you're not practicing law no more, because if you can't even cross-examine a witness, I know you just got a law degree, but you got disbarred with that crap right there. Because I would sue you for malpractice and for misrepresenting your stuff as my lawyer while you helping the other side.
What's good with it, Lady Ruby?
Good evening, Brother X. How
What's
are
going
you?
on?
Not too bad, not too
good,
bad.
I'm
It was
good.
an interesting topic you got going on here. I at first I didn't know who it was, so I was like, and then I realized it was Nichelle, and I'm like, oh, this isn't gonna go left. I knew it wasn't gonna go left because I've heard Nichelle speak on several occasions, and she can be very consistent with what she's saying and very one-track minded when she thinks something's important to bring up and to illustrate for the crowd, but she's not really messy. So I was like, oh, it's not gonna get messy. All right, we'll just listen to the logic and the reasoning then and see where that goes.
Ruby,
Yeah, I mean,
she was on her third blunt, and she's saying she's a lawyer on live YouTube.
She is a lawyer.
What?
She's a lawyer
saying,
for real.
wait, listen. She's saying she has male clients. And is that how you talk to your male clients that's paying you to help them get custody of their kids?
Hold on a second. Hold on one second. Good look on that Cash App, brother Ant South. Ant Southeast. Good look on that, brother. Appreciate that, man. Good look on that Cash App. Go ahead, y'all.
See,
now,
but
Ruby,
a lawyer, the whole thing with the lawyer
you ain't one of
is
those women, so you talking common sense. So
well, yes,
you're right, but honestly, with a lawyer saying I defend men and women in child custody court, right? But then when it comes down to a woman, you got every excuse. But then when it comes down to a man, who forced you to nut in him? But you my lawyer.
But see, that's the thing, right? As a lawyer, right? If you were like, let's say you were.
There is no but if
hold
I'm
on,
your
hold
client
on.
and
Hear
I'm
me out.
paying you.
Hear me out, though.
Saying, but
hear me
who
out.
forced you to nut in her?
Wait, but
as
hear
a
me
lawyer,
out, though.
I'm paying.
As a lawyer, right? That would be, and that's the thing. You're going to defend whatever, like whoever comes to you with a case, whatever their case is, you're going to defend them to the best of your ability, regardless of what your personal feelings are, right? So you're going to have personal feelings that might be in direct conflict with what it is that you need to do to get your particular defendant off, or to defend them to the best of your ability. So it is two different things, right? Like, we can't say that she wouldn't be a great male lawyer just because her personal opinions might conflict with that.
Ruby, do you realize that is what her stand the ground? This is who I am. But then when it came down to the males, if you represent men as your clients and you're the lawyer, why is it there is no other side if you represent men, and they might be getting screwed over? You see what I'm saying?
No,
you can't be defending a crackhead mother and say she on crack, and the kids couldn't run away, and they couldn't get away, but because she was on crack, she's got an excuse. But the father left the chick because she was on crack, but he's a badass father.
But if she was the father's lawyer, she would figure out
that. Ruby.
No.
Ruby,
If she hold on, hear me out.
She literally said that out her mouth. Don't defend that. Don't go on that side.
Saying, hold on, hear me out, though.
Side, girl. Don't.
Hear me out. Let me say what I'm gonna say. Okay. If she's the crackhead mother's lawyer, she is going to come up with an argument that defends her client, right? And makes her client look like an innocent victim. But if she's hired to be the father's lawyer, she's going to do the same thing for the father, right? Like, that's what lawyers do. And it doesn't matter what the personal opinions are. That's what lawyers do.
As a lawyer, she never gave an excuse for any father, and she defends fathers. And that's the problem. Out her own mouth, she did not defend one damn father's right at all. So you doing a one-sided argument like she is. Because if you're going to defend fathers, but then you're going to castrate every father, then you ain't really defending fathers, are you, as a lawyer?
No, because I think, hold on. I'm just going to say this. Let me just say this one thing.
Hold on.
Let me just say this one thing. I think the way D.X.L, just based on the way I've seen the way that she works, right, is right now she's up here and the topic is about single mothers. So the way that I've seen her work is she tries to be quote unquote fair, but right now she's up here defending single mothers because that's the topic. That's what I think really happened. That's just my personal opinion.
Hold it, Lady Ruby. Hold it.
But you're just going to be one-sided for single mothers. But you defend fathers pay you, but you saying I'm gonna defend a single mother, even though you paid me thousands of dollars to help you get your kid.
Lady Ruby, you my folks, but I gotta correct you. The title is not single mothers. The title is. Damn, now I won't play.
Come on, play.
Sorry.
Mamas.
That is the title.
Sorry, my bad. You're right. I misquoted. I misspoke.
Oh, that wasn't a misquote. That wasn't. I didn't read the topic.
Oh no, I read the topic, but I understand what you're saying because it's not about single mothers. It's about a specific type of woman, a specific type of mother that is a bane on our community. Right. So I get that.
Well, let me get Brother Perfect Blackness up in here. What's good, Brother Perfect Blackness, man?
Hey, what's going on, man? What's going on to the panel?
What's good with you, brother? What you got for me, man?
Hey, what made me jump on here, and you got to forgive me, Miss Ruby, but I had to kind of, and I don't want to derail the topic, but this is something that's kind of dear to me because I'm still in the trenches of this shit right now. Even 8 years in, I'm still in the trenches, and I got to tell you, Miss Ruby, lawyers, when it comes to these matters here with the fathers fighting for their rights and their own kids. The lawyers do not really fight as hard as they really can. They don't. I'm on my fourth lawyer in 8 years. I'm on my fourth attorney, and it always goes down to shit like this. Do you know how much money I've spent over the last 8 years on attorney just on your court fees?
2
That's a
grand.
Oh, I
lot.
got
8 years is a
That's
long
about
time, man.
50K. That's
No,
about
listen to
50K right there. Ain't
$27,374 to date.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So when you
You could
say
have bought a
that,
car.
so when you say that even as a female attorney, no. See, I ran into that. I made that mistake even with my current attorney. I made that mistake thinking to get a female. Almost always, they're always going to almost play like the mother's attorney. They are. So
That is
that
unfortunate that that's
that
been your
that
experience.
that
I'm
is
sorry
it
to
is
hear that,
not
man.
true, right? For maybe in a criminal case or misdemeanor case or something like that. But when it comes to this type of stuff, no, they don't fight hard for the guys. No, they don't. No, they don't. If that was the case, most men like myself that's in the trenches with attorneys would have had their kids in full custody a long time ago. If that was really the case, but
You
it's
know
not.
what?
Hey,
And I
Ruby.
mean, I'm not sure where you live, but
I live in
hopefully you live.
Chicago, probably one of the worst.
I don't know if because there are certain brothers who have gone to court and did get good lawyers, and they have custody of their kids. Hopefully, one of the ones that are on YouTube that have done that, hopefully one of them lives in Chicago area and can refer you to a decent lawyer, because that's fucked up. Like, that's 8 years is way too long, and that's way too much money to not even have a lawyer that you trust at this point.
Well,
Ruby, can I say something to this?
I can tell you that I've seen and been in contact with a lot of men that's in my situation who got the funds, who have the funds to who can barely afford an attorney, and got a really good grasp on their father's rights. Almost to a man, they're having the same problem of their attorneys not really fighting for them as much as they really can. They come in with, well, give me 10,000 up front, or give me 4,000 or 5,000 up front as a retainer, and then you're talking $400 or $500 an hour and all that other type of shit.
Oh yeah.
So no, I have good 8 years of experience of being real deep into the trenches of this. I've gotten a really good whiff of it. And I'm telling you, it is not like that. It isn't that cut and dry. It is not that cut and dry. For guys that got custody of their kids, more likely, either the woman either voluntarily gave it up, or there's some other legal matter that is an encumbrance upon her, or it's something. It ain't just just going to the court. Hey, Your Honor, I'm a better person than the mother. She's unfit, and that's it. And I want 50-50. And no, it ain't that easy. It ain't that easy. Nope. Mm-mm. I know in Chicago they make you jump every single hoop, jump every doggone hurdle, jump through every single hoop just to get 50-50. And I can tell you, I've been fighting 50-50 for 8 years, and I still don't have it.
It's crazy.
I got what 37%. After
all
all
the
this
bad thing
time.
is,
wow,
he can go to prison and won't have a right.
Yeah.
To even get 50%. She can go to prison.
It is not easy.
I mean, both of them can kill. Both of them can commit murder, right? The mother come out of prison, commit a murder, and still have a right for 50-50. He can't even get 50-50 coming out of prison doing the same damn crime.
No, it is not easy. You just can't go knock on the judge's desk and say, "Hey, I'm a good person. I ain't got no felonies. I have no convictions. There's just the only thing is just that when I got a divorce." No, the judge asked me in open court, "Why do you want 50-50?"
Lady Ruby, let me ask you something as a woman. Now, we all know that the system supports the women more than they support men. That's not news, okay? We've always known that. I mean, the women get more support from the courts and the legal system and the child support laws and all kind of bullshit. They get more support. Therefore, when it comes to children, being that they get most of the support and men have a tendency to be marginalized and ostracized and everything else when it comes to these things, do you think as women, being that they already have the leverage and they have the knowledge already of having the upper hand, do you think that women, and when I'm talking about women, I'm actually talking about
these old mamas.
Do you think that their responsibility to the children should be equal to, if not greater than the man's?
I think that the custodial parent, so since, I mean, really, as you know, we're just talking about, I mean, 50-50 is not a given these days. So I think whoever is the primary guardian of that child should have the much larger responsibility of the kid overall, right? And
Who
I
gets
think
that
that
right more often? If you're going to answer that question, who gets the right more often, the father or the mother?
well, obviously the mothers, right? I mean, this
And
is why I say, because if you go back not that many decades, right? I mean, it was exactly the opposite. Whereas mothers were not assumed; it was always the men that were assumed custody. Why? Because they're the ones who were financially able to provide. And this is why, you know, I say, yeah, there's something wrong with the system, and this is something that's got to be fought on more than just each individual man who wants custody of their kids level. Like, this has to be fought on a bigger level, where there needs to actually be a cohesive movement amongst the men fighting to change the system, because otherwise nothing is going to change.
I disagree with you right there.
The problem is,
I disagree with you right there.
saying, can I interject? Because I know you're going to take this and you're going to kill her point. But I'm just going to say this. Now, off what you said, right? The man's financially responsible, right? If he has
Well,
a
I was
child,
talking about decades ago, but yes.
No, it ain't decades. This was yesterday. It's still
No, I was
yesterday.
just saying when
It's
you
still
said what I
2020 right
said.
now.
When I was talking about was what custody used to be before and why, but yes.
But custody's still the same way. The laws didn't change yet. So it's still the same way as the back in the old days. It's yesterday for us. It's still the same way. You can go back in the past, but if it happened yesterday, guess what? It's the present. It's still the same example, no matter how many decades you go back.
Well, no, because what it used to be is because the men were more able to financially provide, that they were actually the ones that were given automatic custody unless they relinquished it and said the woman could take her kid. Whereas now it's different, and the men are still given financial responsibility.
We're talking about black men
that
here.
has never been a reality.
Using white men rules for black men who never got those rules.
Okay, so if you want me to finish my point, I can. If we're not going to let me finish my point, then there's no point. Right?
No, I just want you to be historically correct, since you're going back in history. White men
I'm talking, just because they refuse to apply the laws equally doesn't mean that the laws shouldn't have been applied equally. I'm just talking about what's literally on the law books, right? I'm talking about what's literally on the law books. So what I'm saying is, in today's date, what hasn't changed is that the men are still assumed to be most fiscally responsible, and therefore fiscally responsible for the child. However, they've separated that issue from custody itself. So they give the women, they assume the women get custody, and yet they still make the men fiscally responsible. So that's what I was trying to say. That's all.
You're correct. But see, here's the thing. Black men still don't have that right, still don't have that law applied. White men seem to be able to, but we still judging black men on what white men get away with, and black men ain't never been able to. But you still blaming black men for what white men did.
I'm not blaming black men for anything.
Well, let me ask Brother Perfect Blackness something, because I know he's going through this shit. He doesn't spend thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of dollars on lawyers and shit like that. Do you ever, Brother Perfect Blackness, do you ever think it's going to be a time where the rights will change? And what I mean by rights being changed is that a father of a kid actually gains a certain amount of rights before the kid is born. Like, while she's pregnant with that child, could you ever see a time where the father has a certain degree of rights over that child before that child is even born. Do you ever see a time like that coming?
Well, I'm gonna answer that in two parts, and my answer is actually going to go into a response to what the young lady here said.
Ruby.
Miss Ruby, I'm sorry. I'm
No
sorry.
problem.
To answer your question, I answered in two parts. Can it? Yes. Will it? No. Can it in the sense that, all things being equal? Absolutely. Some, if, there can be a time that, the current laws were looked upon in a fair and honest light, and the sensible thing was done, and therefore more equitable circumstance and laws would ensue. But reality tends to kind of bend towards the negative on this. That's never going to happen. Why? Because the family court now, and I'm using it in a general sense because child support and all that falls up under that. Family court is making way too much money on men in this respect. Just way too much money. It's just like during the time of slavery, people, even the slave masters and people who was benefiting and those who didn't generally like slavery, they weren't in too much of a hurry to stop it unless it was a doggone war. So, and because they knew the benefits that when one person can own 300 people and they're labor to it. You know how much generational wealth that you can generate with all that, please. It's so much that you can get from that. So no, of course, people see it. It isn't that people don't see it. People see this and people know it. They see it right in front of their face, white and black. People see it. So it's never it's never gonna stop. So no, that's why I say yes and no. I don't envision a time that it will, at least not on the grounds where people will just look at things, in a fair light and change it based upon the right things to do. Now, going into how I think that we can peaceably make this change is going into her. Look, number one, in my 45 years of living, I have never, and this may be anecdotal, and I admit that right off the bat. But I have, in my 45 years of living, I have never known of a black man who, where he got custody just on the strength that he was the more responsible man. I've never seen that. Ever, 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 ever. I've never seen it. I would like to see some examples of that, but I've never seen that. Just, if a healthy mother who wants the kid and the father, he's just being assumed to be the responsible one. No, I've never seen it. That is not how the courts look at it. The courts don't see it that way. The courts see it as that you're the man, and so therefore you're responsible. In that you're responsible for paying. That's it. It doesn't matter if you got a job or not. It doesn't matter if she makes more than you or not. You're paying. That's just the bottom line. Now, in terms of politics, I don't think that there's any amount, and this is where I kind of got to challenge you on this, is that there is an amount. We're not going to vote our way out of this. Okay, we're just not. The feminist movement have made they've earned women such an outsized amount of power in this arena that there isn't going to be any voting on this because they are so entrenched in every aspect of American life, in everything we do, everything. There is no way because because both sides of the aisle are so compromised. The tentacles run so deep up into everyone's ass. There is no amount. There's only one real thing that can be done, and that's for the more successful black men. And I'm only dealing with black men because that's the community in which I come from. Is that the more successful black men just take their ball and go home, not deal with black women, not deal with Adolf's foundational black women. Don't fuck them. Don't put your dick in them. Don't date them. Don't do nothing with them. Okay, bottom line, because I really do believe that for every one successful, a decent black man that got his shit together, he's worth 10 no good, goddamn pants sagging niggas that's on the street that's willing to go fuck these welfare hoes that's looking for welfare checks off the nut that they run around that's inside of them that they can't wait to get pregnant by somebody. One
Well, let me.
successful black man.
You
is
make me
more-
always agree and disagree with everything you say. Like, it's so hard for me because I agree
Well,
with you, but then
Okay,
you'll say
what do you
one thing that I
what do
don't
you
agree with.
disagree on what I said? What do you
Okay.
disagree on what I said?
So I agree that if you give a fuck about your life and you're worth a damn, you need to be way more selective with who you choose to even stick your dick inside of, because
Yeah,
accidents
selective with
happen and you don't want to
non-American black women, non-American women in general, non-American black women in particular.
But see, now that was my thing. That's the part that I disagree with, right? Like,
Mhm.
just like not all American black women or all American women are some ain't shit bitches who will screw over your life, or you
Lady
know, are just
Ruby.
looking for
That's
love
been
Lady
and
that's
sex or
been
Ruby.
whatever,
that's
right?
been
Lady
that's been the
Ruby, I gotta
majority.
stop you.
Really?
That's been
I
the
gotta.
majority.
Lady
Okay,
Ruby,
hold
Let
up.
me
I
ask, let
gotta
me ask,
stop
let me
you.
ask you this.
It
I gotta
doesn't
stop
apply
you.
to the woman, but
Gotta
it
stop.
applies to the man. Is what you're
I
saying,
gotta
Ruby.
stop you.
That
I
is
gotta
it.
stop you, Lady Ruby. I gotta stop you because
Get
you're
her,
not
get
even
her.
American. You're not
No,
American.
I'm not American, but still, like,
So let me ask you guys
You're
something.
not
that's
even
your
American.
point.
Guys,
Hey, my
Prophet.
my wife is South African, so hey.
Let me ask y'all guys a question. So, in that notion, in this logic, anybody here got daughters? That's from this
Yes,
country.
I do.
I do.
So,
I have
if
two.
we think in that logic, that means by default she is also fall in that same category because she's an American citizen, same way like all these rest of the women.
Well,
That makes for some very hard conversations I'm gonna have with my daughter, and I don't it.
yes, and
No,
Okay.
I mean,
I've heard this
chaos.
before. I've heard this
When
before.
have you heard a woman say, "I'm gonna do what I want to do. You can't tell me nothing"?
Yeah. I mean,
That's in your discussion right there, sir.
I've
No
heard
matter if
the
she a
I've
daughter,
heard the daughter.
stop
I've
being
heard
your daughter.
Yes, I've heard the daughter question before, and I've heard people say, "Well, X, you have daughters." Now, one of my daughters is already married. Okay, so I got my fingers crossed that he'll keep her, and I don't have to take care of her ever again. But my other daughter is not, but she also doesn't have any children. Um, I've had these discussions with my daughters. Both of my daughters are adults. They're in their 20s. Like I said, one of my daughters is married. She has children with her husband. So she's all right for now. Fingers crossed. But I would like to think that even if my daughter becomes one of these old hoes that's unworthy of a decent man, she will suffer the same fate as the other hoes out there. It's not like these special provisions should be made for her just because she happened to fall out of my nutsack. No. If
Right.
you are
After
a woman,
18,
Fair, but that's fair. I think
after
good
if you are a
women, though.
woman,
he can be a
you are,
Negro, she can be a hoe. They
yeah.
grown.
I mean,
Yeah, but there are
we
self.
making
Listen,
defenses for the women that's grown when they made a grown decision with their own
I
damn
mean,
body, and now it's everybody else's fault. She
no,
opened her legs.
but
I
ain't
don't.
shitness knows no bounds, okay? Ain't
Yeah,
shitness
exactly.
is global. It is
Exactly.
international. So any woman from any goddamn place can be some ain't shit bitch. So my whole point is, don't say, well, all the ain't
Well, here's
shitness
the
is
thing.
confined to this
Black
continent,
American
because
women
it's
are
not.
more
Is my
likely
woman
point.
panel that says that because you being by yourself sounds like you trying to defend your honor, not being one.
I'm
Why are you
married.
defending everybody else?
I'm
Why they
married.
being
I'm
a
not by
hoe?
myself.
If you're not a hoe, why you defending everybody else hoe choice?
No,
You're
I'm
not a
not. What
hoe.
I'm
Quit
saying,
defending
what
the
I'm
hoe.
doing, no, what I'm doing is I am saying, right, that if some woman ain't shit, don't fuck with her. But don't say that everyone on this damn continent ain't shit just because they were born and raised on this continent, because
Then how
there
about
are good
this?
people on this
Don't
continent
fucking
and there are ain't
defend
shit people
her.
in Africa.
What you're
That's my
doing.
point.
Class
If
Ruby,
she ain't shit hoe, then why you not a hoe defending her?
I'm
You defending
defending
the hoe though.
No, what
You
I'm
you
saying,
making
listen,
excuses.
hold on. Okay, I know you guys heard a lot of stories today, but I'm going to tell one, because this is the first one I am going to tell for the night. So there's a show, right? And it's called Love and Sex Around the World. And so they were covering some goddamn where in Africa. I can't remember exactly where, right? And in this place in Africa, you have almost the exact same system of women that you got here, because you've got women who are wives, and then you can be a mistress, and then you can be a girlfriend, right? And of course you can be a prostitute, and blah, 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 blah. And it's all well commonly known, right? Just like it is here. Now, what I'm saying, though, I'm just using that to illustrate the point, right? That you can have hoes everywhere. In fact, there are hoes everywhere, and there are ain't shit people, and there are users, and there are abusers, and there's all kinds of bad people all over the world. Going to someone of a different nationality or descent doesn't protect you from that. Learning how to assess when a woman is a good woman and is worthy wife material and is worthy of you actually taking your time out to fuck her, to deal with her, to marry her, and whatever, that's what's going to be a better protection. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Well, first,
did she
now,
use Africa? Hold up. Let me cut her off real quick. Ruby, you earn my respect. And we're actually having a debate, even though it seems like I'm being a little rough with you. But Africa has traditions. Motherfucker want goats when he gives his daughter to a man. So isn't that a lot of westernized, I'ma be a hoe?
There you go to me.
No,
and
actually,
her father can't get goats in Africa, because that's Africa's tradition. If you're gonna use Africa and you're in England and I'm in America,
I'm in Canada.
Sure, better. I want some goats. I want some cows. My daughter is a virgin, but that ain't virgin stuff you saying that's happening in Africa right now, and you breaking African traditions, and yet that is historical fact up to today. So if you're going to use an example, please be historically correct.
Well, I'm going to be accurate of the fact of the times of today. And it's not, see, this is the thing. So when they're talking about this, right, and then they talk about it from the other side. So there's this guy, right? Okay, he's married. He only has one woman. Why? Because he can't afford to have more. If you want to have a wife and a mistress and 3 girlfriends, you have to be able to afford them. So the culture changed where this is now acceptable, right? Because ultimately people need to be taken care of. Women can't really earn money the way men can. They need to be taken care of by a man. There's not enough men who are there to marry all of them, so this is what they've arranged, and everyone has figured out that this is acceptable for them. So that's what I'm saying. It's not exactly the same, but it's the same.
Wife, my wife shouldn't be out there doing a twerking video in Africa. I paid my dowry. She should follow the rules of the dowry. Period. African law.
Look,
okay, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. She shouldn't be out there twerking. But my whole point is that some chick who's a mistress right now might get scooped up and become someone else's wife tomorrow. And then, yeah, once she's someone's wife, she ain't fucking anyone else. Actually, mistresses and girlfriends don't fuck anyone but the man that they're currently with either, as long as he continues to take care of them, right? He pays their rent, he feeds them, he gets their nails done and their hair done, and, you know, comes by on occasion and fucks them. That is the arrangement that's currently made. If he drops them, they're going to move on to someone else.
In Africa, she is not wife material in Africa. Period.
No, she is though. Actually, interestingly enough, she is.
A hoe here, but she got more freedom in your land and mine. Okay, we're using the African rules. And that ain't the rule in Africa.
So no, apparently the mistresses and girlfriends are still technically married. They still can be married. I'm just saying, just based on, again, I actually watched the show and like looked it up afterwards. This is a real legit thing that's going on, and it has to do really with finances, right? It has to do with being able to take care of their people.
That may be true, and you're right on that, but that's not like that in every part of Africa. That's number one. It is not like that in every part of Africa.
No. It was one specific place.
And that's and Africa, as you know, is a very, very vast, vast piece of real estate, vast piece of global real estate.
You didn't name the country. You said the whole of Africa does it that way.
No, I didn't. I said that the show covered just one city in Africa. I said one city in Africa.
One nation. Africa got Egypt, Lebanon, all them other
Right,
nations.
and I said
you didn't say the country. You said Africa.
No, because I can't remember
whole.
the name of the country and the city, but I literally said I was watching it on the show. I referenced the show, and I told you in this city in Africa, this is what is happening in this area. But my point was just to illustrate the fact that just because you go off of the Western world doesn't mean you're finding some fucking 18-year-old virgin ready to marry you.
That's what I wanted to address.
No, what you did was you represent a country that you can't remember, but it happened in Africa. You said all of Africa, just like all black men ain't shit.
Africa.
That's what you said. Henceforth, since you can't remember specifically who did it to you, you're going to say all of us did it.
That's it. I'm going to go look at the TV show for you, okay? I'm going to look at the TV show for you.
Hold on a second, everybody. Hold on a second, everybody.
You got to represent Yard, man.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Good look on that Cash App, brother Zero. I appreciate that, brother. Good look on that, my man. I appreciate that, brother. And he put a funny message in here too, but I ain't gonna tell y'all what he said.
Oh, come on, you might as well read it. He probably saying something about me. Go ahead.
I wanted to.
You know what I want? I see we got another lady or two in here too. I want another female to come up here. I don't know if you was listening earlier to well, I don't want to call her old mama, but you know, Nichelle. Her name's Nichelle, and I want to know what you thought of what she said, the conversation itself, and I want to know what you thought too, Lady Ruby, about the whole, you know, the exchange between Lady Nichelle and myself. So if another lady want to come up here and talk about it, feel free. I will put the link in the chat. You can come on up and discuss it. Carry on.
Okay. I want to address Miss Ruby when she was saying about black men going overseas or to Africa for example, to find women that they not all, they got some hoes over there too. Look, I'll say this, and I can't take credit for this, but I don't know if it was Zero who said it, whoever said it, I can't take credit for it. But somebody said on this very topic that, well, the grass may not be greener on the other side, but it may not always be green, but at least it is greener than America's grass. Look, I'm not going to go through anymore to find that one needle in a haystack and a goddamn sea of hay. I'm just not doing it. Sure, we are more black African women. Yeah, they may have their problems, and some of them got some of the same issues, baby mama issues that a lot of black women have over here. But you're less likely to find it over there. You're more likely to find a better woman that is wife material, because more likely they are socially conditioned to be wives. Women over here are socially conditioned to be strong and independent. And I've said before, if you're strong and independent, you have basically made yourself useless to pretty much every man that is any successful black man. You're strong and independent, you might as well just be strong and independent by yourself. I really don't care how good you look. But black women in America, they are socially conditioned to be they present themselves to be not marriage material. They come prepackaged not marriage material. They have to be, in order for them to be marriage material, they would have to do so in spite of themselves, in spite of their upbringing, in spite of their training. Other cultural women, they don't have to do that. They have to come over here and get reconditioned to be Americanized. And to that, I'll say the better ones, what you do, you want to find out how deep is she, or how connected is she with her family and her community. The more connected that she is with her family and community, the less likely she's going to be influenced by Western culture, even if she's living here. And I've seen that, either not only by my personal experience, but from other people's experience that I've seen as well, who do have success. Sure, there's some that come over here, they get Americanized and all that, but when you talk to those women, you find that they're really not connected to their family in the first place. They came over here with an agenda.
Yeah. Okay. First, I was just gonna say the place. So I found it. It's called Accra, and it's in Ghana. ACCRA, Ghana.
No, that doesn't
But
surprise me. I'm from Ghana. Yeah, that doesn't
The
surprise me at
fact
all.
you gotta search that far so you can find a talking point.
no, it's just from the TV show. So it's
No,
season
that's
1,
what you did.
episode.
No, you said
Hold on.
Africa. You can't remember where the location was before, but you said Africa, and Africa
Okay. So
Yeah.
as I said, it's from a
got like
TV
3
show.
oceans on the side of it.
Okay, so
I'm
it's from a
just saying,
TV
you
show
said Africa.
called.
That's a bad example.
For everyone
That's a
else who
bad
wants
example.
to see it, it's from it actually, and it actually covers other places like Beirut and Shanghai and whatever. But it's from a show called Sex and Love Around the World by Christiane Amanpour. And it's I don't know Amanpour. Okay.
Ruby,
Oh, you
So-
talking
I
about
asked you, do
CNN?
you watch
You talking about the CNN lady?
Any chance?
Yeah.
Do you watch
Yes.
Fox
Talking
Soul
about
by
her, yeah.
any chance?
I knew it too.
With
Yeah.
Vivian and
That's a bad example.
all the girl group that sat there and did their rant part on like black men and everything, and most of the women got body counts and all that good stuff. But do you watch like Fox Soul? Because you can use that as an example if you want to. It still doesn't make the point any more valid when you say all black men, but you got to ask those excuses for women. Because I know
I never
sisterhood
said
is
all
good.
black men anything,
Miss,
and I'm not part of the
Miss,
sisterhood, sir.
Miss, I'm not accusing you. I'm using your talking point. You went to Ghana, girl. I can use Fox Soul if you're gonna go to Ghana. Let me make my point. It's just an open point, like you made an open point. Why is it specific when me as a man making a point, but you as a woman could go to Ghana and can't remember what nation it came from?
I literally was just referring to an episode of a show.
Well,
so
I'm referring
again,
to
hold
why can't I
on.
have
Let
the
me just
same
finish
life?
my.
I'm
I'm just
referring
saying.
to
I
this.
just wanted
No,
people to know what I was
I didn't
referring
jump in your butt
to.
about it. Don't jump in mine. Don't be all nitpicky. I
No,
just asked you to come.
I
You
wasn't
couldn't
trying
remember.
to. No, I couldn't. So I actually, that's
Miss,
why I
I'm just
came back.
asking
I
you,
thought
do you
you were
watch
actually
Fox
asking.
Soul by any chance? Because you
Well,
could
I
use them as an
apologize then,
example
because
and
I
made
thought
your
you
point.
actually wanted to know where it was from. So I came back with the information, so
I
that way you would know
did.
what I was
I
referring
did.
to.
I did. You said
That's all.
Africa. Ghana
That's all.
is not the whole of Africa, but you still
I
said
know.
all black men, and you use Africa as an example to represent black men across the globe.
I didn't
And
at
then
all.
you did say the word all, and that's why every man is correcting you and got a problem with what you said. And there's more men on this panel
You know
than just
what?
me, so
I don't know. We're gonna have to listen to the playback.
sorry,
I don't
dear.
think I said that, and if I did, I
You don't need
apologize
playback.
because
You
I
don't
didn't
need
mean to do
playback.
it clearly.
You had 3
Okay.
guys correct you
So
on what you
know
said,
what?
and they
Here's the
asked
thing.
you.
Here's the thing. Okay. All I wanted to do was come back and just give you the reference point that I had been talking about when I talked about the show. I actually wanted to answer the other gentleman's statement to me. So I didn't really mean to get into this back and forth.
Other gentlemen that asked you for location too, but you weren't being specific about the men you were talking about. The men you were talking about was global.
So do we have to do this like right now? Because again, I think we've already addressed it.
But you were talking about all black men when you used the Ghana TV show you saw as an example. And that's what
I
you
used
said.
the Ghana TV show actually not even to really speak about men. I was using the
Thank you
show.
very much.
Okay,
your point.
great. I was using the show to talk about black women, but that wasn't really the point. Actually, it was really using the show to talk about women because it also talks about Asian women who cheat on their husbands regularly. But that, again, is not. I was just using the show as a really quick reference point. It wasn't meant to sit there and try to actually really typecast men or women or black men or black women. It was literally actually a point of saying, listen, I think men who are worth a damn should be working really hard to protect themselves from ain't shitness. What I'm saying is going overseas is not just going to automatically protect you from the ain't shitness. And there's actually even dudes on YouTube right now who are talking about their wives who they got overseas, who now have been here for a while and are currently fucking them over in the court system. And they thought that couldn't happen because shit, she's like an immigrant. She's only been here for like 5 seconds, still fucking them over monetarily, for alimony, for child support. So I was just trying to say, listen, that isn't actually a fail-safe to protect you. That's all.
Hold on a second.
And why aren't you giving examples for men to follow so they don't deal with ain't shit men instead of coming up with excuses for why every man ain't shit?
Hold on a
Sorry,
second.
what did I
Hold
ever
on,
talk
hold
about
on.
every man not being shit?
Hold on.
Miss Ruby, we're having a
Hold
discussion, and I'm not
on.
making it personal. But you use a
Hold
Ghana
Hold
reality
on.
TV show,
Everybody
blanket
just
statement,
hold
black men,
on a second.
again.
Hold on. Hold on a second, man. Hold on. Everybody just hold on a second. First, I wanna address this shit that I see in the chat. It says, Wisdom Speaks says, it is really sad that Classic Ruby is being attacked like this. She is a decent black woman that tries to support black men. Now, I know that Lady Ruby don't need for me to speak up for her, but what you need to know is this. Lady Ruby has been coming on this channel, not for months, not for weeks, not for a couple of days. Lady Ruby is probably one of the first women I've ever interacted with when I started doing live streams on YouTube. So Lady Ruby, when she come up on this channel, she know exactly what she gonna get. All right, and she's not thin-skinned.
Solid
Okay,
women.
she's not thin-skinned
Solid.
like the rest of you goddamn women. She's just not. Because she's been fucking around with T.P.O.T for years. Let me say that again. For years, Lady Ruby has been coming on this channel. All right? So, Lady Ruby can handle her fucking self. And trust me, if she feels like she's being attacked, she will say as much. I say again, this is not Lady Ruby's first ride on the old T.P.O.T YouTube page train. It's probably like her 1,000th ride on the T.P.O.T YouTube train. So, that being said, I want to ask you, Lady Ruby. So, what do you think about the exchange between Lady Nichelle and me? What did you think about it? Because I want to hear from her. I know what the brothers think. I want to hear what you thought about that exchange.
I think overall, right, just there was an overarching thing where I really wanted her, I think, to more directly answer some of the questions, especially because as a lawyer and as someone who works in these situations a lot, if she were to answer directly yes or no before she started speaking, I think it would have maybe been more helpful overall. Like I felt like half of the time when she was done answering, I felt like there might be an answer in there. I just wasn't sure what it was all the time. So I don't think that she was necessarily deflecting. I just think that she would just go on tangents and kind of forget where she started, which is a little frustrating. But overall, and I think that's part of the thing, is I think we need more women who are educated in certain areas to speak more clearly about these things. Like, let's give a yes or a no. Let's address, okay, yes, this is true, and this is how it's affecting society, and this is how it's affecting our communities. And then if we want to why is it true? Okay, then give us the why it's true. But we don't always need the why it's true or a defense for the women that it's true, but it's not a bad thing or whatever. I think sometimes we just kind of need like a nitty-gritty yes or no.
I agree with that, Ruby, and I'm not attacking you at all. Shoot,
Yeah,
this the only reason I'm still on the panel because there's a woman on it. Because you're actually a woman I can have a discussion with. We can disagree and then come to agreement on other things. And the only thing I'm saying is,
Ruby's been coming on the channel for years, man. She's been coming on this channel for years. So I don't know what the hell.
I know. I got much respect for her, and that's why I'm debating with her. And I haven't sat there and went at her personally. I haven't attacked anything she defended. It's just the example she's using is a problem because, see, a woman can go, well, I know somebody that did it, just like the lawyer. Like I said, she used 4 examples from her own family to pretty much guilt all of us into sin. And then the thing was, it was like, really, you're going to say your family got more cases than hell. But your family's all right though. She done said her grandpa, her uncle, one of her cousins, one of her nephews, and I'm like, literally, excuse me, but oh, well, I'm just the same as everybody else. And I'm like, excuse me, I don't have kids. I don't even let women leave their kids with me alone if I'm dating a single mother. But I still got to fix every damn sin, every damn thing. I didn't know. Okay, that's great. But the problem is, I've done seen enough videos to where mothers got them kids on Facebook, their YouTube channel, their Twitter account, whatever the hell else app, disrespecting their kids, shaming them, and calling them all sorts of names. And then the damn thing is, it's like, you remember that old say no to drug shit where the kid, the dad's coming in there in the room saying, where you get that? I learned it from you, Dad. I learned it from you.
Actually, yes.
Ain't no women shit on that side, is there? Ain't no goddamn women having that goddamn commercial. But your dad is a crackhead, but we gonna forgive your mama being one.
Yep.
And that's the talking points. And the problem is, Ruby, you don't use those talking points because guess what? You don't live your life using those trifling ass talking points because even you know she a hoe. But your women code is you don't want to call her a hoe because you don't want the rest of the bitches to come after you and take your head. And that's the only reason you being
Oh no,
nice.
the sisterhood hates me. Don't worry about it. I'm okay with that. I've
But you
accepted that
don't
that's how
want
it
them coming
is.
at your head no more. And that's why you toeing the line. And I know
No,
that
I'm
for a
just-
fact because you talked about it, and I'm a fan of yours because you're being honest.
Well, thank
and
you.
if you're going to be honest, I'm not going to shit on your head. Okay?
Well, thank you.
Is that clear?
Yes.
Well, then you keep doing what you're doing, and I respect you. As always, I respect you. Just don't be crossing, hopping over a line, making excuses for a hoe you don't respect. And that's my only question, and that's my only request. And that should be fair for you, since you ain't one of those women. And quit defending yourself when you ain't a hoe like them. That's my only thing I got to say. And thank you very much. And let the floor take the floor.
We got brother Zero in here. I ain't heard nothing from him tonight. What's good with the brother Zero?
Not much, man. I was just gonna address women at large because
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean you
Pull
already know my points of view. It's just
pull the trigger.
Yeah, it's basically a feminism issue, and everybody keeps overlooking it. But like, so my thing is, if women are like serious about what they're talking about, I mean, you could either put up or shut up by organizing and getting some laws in the books that favor men if you want like strong men and families to come back. I mean, otherwise it's just rhetoric because you guys have all the power in American society anyway. But my thing is, so we got this in the wake of this global pandemic, all the power that women have amassed over the last 120 years has resulted in them resorting to prostitution in the wake of a pandemic. All of that power, and the only thing I'm sorry.
What internet? You mean internet power? Like they're going to prostitute internet?
No. So the feminism has amassed like an immense amount of power over the last 120 years. And all that power they have, you know, hijacking all of the things that basically help people, like affirmative action, academia in general, the legal system, fucking pretty much everything. Marriage is basically a welfare spigot, just points money at them. The Me Too stuff, Duluth model politics, where the woman is always the victim and the man is always the aggressor, which makes prenups basically toilet paper. All of this shit that women have to point money at them. And the only result of this right now in the wake of this pandemic is that they've all resorted to prostitution because shit's all fucked up. Like literally, this is what's going on right now in the world, in the United States in particular. All the power that women have resulted in nothing because they had to resort to prostitution in the wake of this pandemic, wiping away all of the jobs, and found out that they were basically useless as far as productivity goes. I mean, if we want like evidence of that, look at what happened at Equifax. They hired because women have to be forced. Like companies are forced to hire women depending on how many seats are available in executive management and shit. And if you have over 25 employees, you have to hire women and all of that. So they force their way into corporations using welfare. And when shit hits the fan, they have to let go of the most non-productive people. So the women go first and things like that. And then with Equifax, they hired a chick to be in charge of all their security. And then they got hacked and 400 million people got their credit records exposed and shit. So in the wake of this pandemic, the only thing they have to show for their power is prostitution. So why bother destroying the family, putting marriage and divorce, putting marriage rates in the toilet, putting the birth rate in the toilet, for all of the sexual freedom, when you're just going to resort to prostitution anyway? Why take away college seats and corporate job seats and then abandon them later because you get pregnant and shit? Like, why do all of that when the end result of all that power is you just resort to prostitution? And then men are just assed out, fucked, and the country doesn't have any productive men to do anything. So my thing is, if women are serious, I mean, organize and get some men's rights on the books. Otherwise, it's just talk. Like, none of this shit means anything.
Who's up here, Brother Zero?
Yeah.
Let me ask a question, brother. Let's be honest. So you gonna wait for women to start put things in books for you to operate in this world?
No, I don't expect women to do any of that.
In that way, I don't think he means it in that way.
Right.
Because I'm hearing, look, basically from what I'm hearing, is that we can't do anything unless women do something for the system.
No, we can do something.
Okay.
Walk the fuck away.
Like what?
You can walk away, exactly. So if you're thinking about like doing something legally,
that don't sound like no problem. So that seems like criticism.
Okay, if that sounds like wishful thinking to you, then if you think about what you're gonna do legally, that's also wishful thinking. They have the vote. Okay, and the men that vote along with them, the male feminists or the cucks, as I like to call them, they have 80% of the vote. You will never get any legal legislation past feminism because you don't have enough people. So if you think you're gonna win this in court or anything like that, no. If you think you're gonna lobby politicians, they have more money than you. So you're not gonna win this in a traditional way. So the only options you have is to walk away and starve the welfare, or you take care of these bitches. I mean,
look.
Okay, somebody's gonna speak. Go ahead.
Honestly, the problem was we got free porn and now we got sex dolls. Okay, it was fine when they had vibrators. They could hook up to a car battery. That was perfectly fine. But now we can have a sex doll built better than their asses, or we can, I don't know, what is it called? Oh, you know what? Like the jobs left America, we just found cheaper, better quality labor.
Right.
So, I mean, you happy your big screen's cheap. You happy the weave is cheap. You happy your nails is cheap. But the women that's replacing you, oh, they hoes. While you dressing, doing all you can. And then the problem is you got so many representatives and you go ahead and say, go ahead, girl. And you forget we got access to your social media too.
Yeah.
We don't Google, we don't search, we don't. And you know what the bad thing is? Even the most trifling Negro is attracting chicks with 2 kids or more. Because you know what? If she got 4, that's 4 miles before he get married.
I don't care about them trifling niggas doing that because they don't matter. I don't want the women to catch men on their way up, like men who are on their way up. You know,
because that's what they humping before
Right.
they ask you to save them from what they humping is trifling Negroes. You ain't a trifling Negro, but it's your fault.
Yeah, but I
I
want them to all be together. What I don't want is for the women to chase after dudes who are on the way up and trying to get their shit together. Those dudes are the ones I'm trying to save. So whenever a man challenges me on this walk away piece, it's like all options are on the table. I mean, you don't just have the walk away. I mean, if you're gonna stay here, then you can either bend the knee or go outside your race. I mean, you're gonna have to pick. You're gonna have to sacrifice. You're gonna have to make a sacrifice play. Like if you ever played chess, they have a play.
A lot of men are already going outside the race. What are you talking about?
No.
That's nothing.
I'm sorry,
bro.
That's started. Men are already going outside the race, and they've been doing this for decades now.
No, I understand that, but I mean, if it was,
white women
if
got,
it was,
I mean, look, black women were outside the race during slavery, and now they bitching because we got a 2020 option. Man,
right?
Please, quit.
But I mean, he's making like a false equivalency here, where he's saying like men have already been doing it. Yeah, men have already been doing it, but I'm talking about the kind of numbers that matter. Like that, right. What you're talking about, it's just no.
So give me a number. What number is this? Is
a number of men
close to almost 45%?
Yeah, half will wake them up. Yeah, why not? Half will wake them up. Again, all options are on the table.
The 52% that ain't got kids, we got options.
Right.
Do you have options, sir?
So
the
other
question.
And then the other, 1 second. So the other option on the table is what the option that feminism itself actually wants. So what women want is they want full autonomy of their bodies. They don't want anybody to tell them what the fuck to do with their bodies. They want to be able to abort and all of that shit whenever they want. And they also want to be able to control the monetization of their body, i.e. prostitution. So what they want is nationalized female sexual freedom. So I got this better phrase than using national legal prostitution, because that phrase is incendiary. So what they want,
that phrase again,
nationalized sexual female, nationalized female sexual freedom. That's what they want, which is basically equivalent to.
I'm gonna save that in my brain.
Which is equivalent to saying legalized prostitution. Now, every other country on the planet has some form of nationalized prostitution, except America. Now, now feminism wants this. This isn't even my idea. They want this. So if they get it, if they get their way, and they will, because they have the vote. Once they vote this shit in, all of these 1s through 5s that are putting on makeup and pretending that they're 8s and 9s and shit, that goes away, because at that point all the stigma associated with prostitution flies out the window right away. All of the Me Too shit, all of the sexual harassment flies out the way right out of just when that law is done and put on the books. Anything negative and criminal associated with
I doubt that's gonna go away.
If you let me finish, I'll explain why. So all of that goes away because you're no longer a John, you're a customer. Okay, so anything that applies to a customer in the traditional sense of business in America applies to you at that point. So she can't file Me Too. She's providing a service that you're taking advantage of as a customer. There's no more Me Too. There's no more Johns. There's no more harassment or sexual harassment, anything like that, because at that point, all women are for sale legally. So there is no more of this shit anymore. So, but what's going to happen is a lot of men all over the United States are going to get black-pilled real quick. Women have already been women are black-pilled way early because they understand that their value is sexual and genetic. They understand that their whole value as a human is based on their genetics, and they take advantage of it, as they should, or else we wouldn't be here. The problem is men have stifled their ability to do the same thing, and we want to go into protector mode. But after this shit happens, all the men are going to wake up, because all the women partaking in legalized prostitution or nationalized female sexual agency, all the women partaking, they're going to be surprised. The mom's going to partake. The sister's going to partake. The girl next door that they like, they're going to partake. That teacher that they like, that chick at the grocery store, the fucking church lady, everybody. and the really hot women are going to have a good bull run, and there's going to be a bit of confusion about quality because people are going to think, well, this girl with the 2-parent home and the nice upbringing who's really hot is worth $1,000. But men are going to quickly find out that that's bullshit, because when you commoditize beauty, when you make beauty as much of a commodity as a can of soda, then beauty becomes the only factor that matters. And then you have Keisha, who is also a 10. She costs $40. Or Tracy Lynn at the fucking trailer park, who is also magazine hot. She's only $40. So all of the chicks that think that they're going to get away with long-term success with it, the price, I'll put it this way, the prices are going to drop. And then all of that family shit that people want, all of the femininity that you want, all of that shit comes right back to the bargaining table, because the women who can't partake in the system automatically have to do that. And then the women who don't want to get old and just fucking disappear into the ether, because that's what's going to happen, you will get priced out of the market once you age, because if everyone's partaking in this, the only thing that matters is beauty. And if men are paying for beauty, they're only going to pay for the best they can get. So older women are gone. And once women realize that they can age out of the market completely, they'll fucking act right. And this is just like every other country on the planet. Every other country employs this, and it works. This is why patriarchy in other countries is so strong, because they have this system in place, along with men being the primary rulers of the rights. Here it's backward. So the only corrections you have is the legalized prostitution.
When you finish.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm done.
I want to add something to it. Man, you kicking Coliseum style these chicks done built with that damn statement. Because see, that's what they pulling right now with the Me Too thing. But here's the killer part of it. On that statement, what you said, here's the problem. And it isn't a problem for the men. Women have been blackpilled. Look, while we just got some semblance of civil rights, we had a CBS special talking about all these chicks don't need a man. Just after we got civil rights, Martin Luther King dead, Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, and every damn other black leader dead. But then they come out with a program called Section 8 welfare, and now they don't need a man. And that was like in the late 60s, early 70s. And here's the killer part of it. Since they've had so much sexual freedom, and it's the man's fault. It is men's fault, but they blaming the wrong men, because black men didn't vote for black women to have that option.
Right.
And we can't be family. We didn't vote that in. Right. We weren't Congress members doing that.
No, we weren't even the one pushing that.
Here we go.
I mean, they got it in 1920, so of course we didn't have anything to do with that.
Now, who picked up the white folk mantra, black men ain't shit, after welfare in Section 8? Was it white people? No. They delegated the responsibility. Who's been carrying that responsibility? Now, here's the killer part of it. All these women now notice in 2020, wait, I'm different. But you've been defending it your whole damn life. I'm 45, just like some of the people close to 40s and stuff. Let me ask you something. How many chicks wish they would have stuck with you and said you got hoes all over? But then what they were really asking you, do you have as many hoes as I've got dicks?
Yeah.
Can I bring up a couple things that I think of whenever I hear about people talking about, finding success outside?
Yeah.
You're outside this nation, so you can ask a question and get answers.
Thank you. I'm Canadian, by the way, not English. But so I guess, okay. Yeah, I'm Canadian, Jamaican, or Jamaican Canadian, whatever.
Yes. Yard girl. Yes.
Canada was part of the
Daddy
UK,
man.
damn it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So here are the things that I think of. And the first being is that, for when we're talking about cultures that obviously have, strong ties towards raising their women to be wives, right? You kind of have, and the old school system whereby, the very best are, snatched up as quickly as possible as wives, right? And it's more the ones that are not necessarily the highest quality that remain available to be married later in life, or even at all, really, right? The best quality are the ones that get snatched up and they're already promised when they're like 10. So you've got that issue. You've got the issue whereby just culturally, a lot of places don't look favorably upon marrying outside of not just, your race, but like often your culture, religion, stuff like that. So again, ones that are going to be able to do that or do tend to be of, the lower echelons. And then, of course, you have ones that are looking to get married because they're, lower and they would like, a free pass into America, free pass into what they think is, the land of milk and honey, so on and so forth. And so you kind of have all of those factors whereby when I think about it, I'm like, well, when you're going to go outside and you're going to do that intentionally, you might be setting yourself up, to be used by someone who's really, really good at it. They're willing to wait out their 5 years or however long it is, just for them to get the green card, or to try to screw you in court with whatever the hell, because, they understand what feminism is doing to America. Or, what, they're really low class and yeah, they got like 300 bodies on them before you meet them, but how the hell would you know? You're not from there. So, you kind of have those risk factors. So do you guys consider that? And if so, do you control for it in any way?
Men don't say women are low class. They just broke and need me to help them. We don't sit there and say you low class, because you know what the weird thing is? A man can make $30,000 a year. His woman can make 75, but his 30K better be paying all them bills while she can go ahead and go shopping.
Well, I think I understand what you're saying. So you're talking about like women in other cultures aren't any better than women here. I get what you're saying. However, they are cultured differently. And as I said before, every other country on the planet has some form of nationalized female sexual agency. So because of that, yeah, they might have different sexual partners and all of that shit, but their culture trains them or cultures them, subjugates them, however you want to put it. Prepares them, yes, for a man being the leader without question. That's the most important part. Men don't give a fuck about what some chick did in their past when he doesn't know about it. We don't care. What we want is we want the compliance. We want the compliance and access to kids and family to push our legacy on. That's the most important shit. Anybody out here, I mean, that is the most important thing. So the comparison of like sexual partners of a woman in another country to a woman here is moot, because the quality of sexual partners is also different in these countries. I mean, do you want to hook up with a chick? Do you want to hook up with a chick with 5 kids or a chick with no kids? Again, because of the fact that they have these systems in place in all of these other countries, then yeah, I can say yes that these women are better, because first of all, their culture to be different, their culture to respect men like right away. It's not even they don't even question it. Secondly,
it's not even a conversation.
Right, it's not even a conversation. Sexual partners notwithstanding, the whole reason that they behave that way is because they know they can be replaced easily. So again,
like I'm wondering
that's a moot point. And there are men that bring women back here and get abused, but part of that problem is just being ignorant of feminism in general, which is why I try to beat niggas over the head with how powerful feminism is. You have to know what you up against in order to fight it. So like I know a lot of people with my detractors will say like it sounds defeatist and shit, but that's ridiculous. You can't say something is defeatist just because you're getting information on it. If it looks dire and hopeless to you, then I don't know what to tell you. The way to I also offer solutions to beat it. There's like lots of ways to beat it. The primary one being starve the welfare by walking away from these bitches and going somewhere else where the women are cultured, which is why I advocate, leaving. But you don't have to leave. You don't even have to leave America permanently.
You don't have to leave America. You can find them.
Yeah.
Or you can go get one and come back.
Exactly. But you do have to be aware of the laws. Yeah, but you have to be aware of the feminist laws that can kill you, which is why I advocate do not get married under American law, because you aren't even marrying the person you're with. You're marrying the state. And the state actually takes control. The contract is between you and the state and your woman in the state. And this is why marital assets are split the way that they are. This is why divorces cost money in the first place, because you and your partner are not marrying each other. You are marrying the state. That's the most important thing to remember. So don't get fucking married. If a man can't talk to his woman about the marriage part of it, it's a non-starter. Because if her emotions are going to take over, knowing the risks involved, then fuck off. She really doesn't want the family. She really doesn't want what you want. She wants the money. So,
and they normally show signs of that. They normally show signs of that. The ones that are
the worst part about this is,
hold on.
You know the real worst part about it is. Go ahead, sir. I'll finish after you. You got the floor.
Yeah, the ones that are gaming, they show signs of that. It's just some of the guys, they ignore them and go head on with it anyway. But they show signs of that. There are signs that the woman cannot hide, that she's just here to get green card and go and move on about her business.
You sure about that?
I mean, there are signs of that.
And to follow that up, we got chicks that were on Flavor of Love and Flavor Flav ugly as shit. 20 years later, they shaming me because I wasn't there for them. Excuse me? My booty hole looked better than Flavor Flav in the face. But excuse me?
I love Flavor of Love. I'm sorry. That's like my favorite show. That shit was so ratchet. Oh, sorry. Just
Ruby,
like
Ruby, you something else, man, Ruby. Yeah, man. So let me ask you a question. You go out of the country and you find one of these nice chicks, whether black or non-black, and they got kids. Will you still wife them up?
No.
Oh. Okay, good.
Exactly. No.
Good.
Absolutely not.
Look, I don't know if you've traveled, man, but if you go to these other countries, you have to understand, like, this is really important to understand. They have so because of the patriarchy and the legalized prostitution in place, women defaultly understand that they can be replaced easily. This is why all of the women behave. Okay, so you know what Arab men do when they bring their wives over here? They get divorced in their country, and because of their laws, they get the kids right away. They come over here, they bring their wives over as employees on a visa. And because of that, their wife can never fucking act up ever, or her ass is going back. So because in their country, they know that like their women can be replaced.
And they act right.
The reason why they get divorced, the man gets the kids over there. So in other countries, because the patriarch gets the kids because he's better able to take care of them, he can just go find another wife easily. As long as he got the resources to take care of another woman, she's going to be all on board.
See, and those women that they divorce and come over as employees, they conveniently do not become Americanized.
Right. All of a sudden that Americanization doesn't work.
They exposed to them all day long. They conveniently do not become Americanized. They walk around the streets probably with their hijabs on.
So I mean, you can research it. I'd suggest getting firsthand experience by traveling. That would like help out a lot because you see it for yourself. I mean, it's hard to really describe it to somebody. I mean, because you'd have to see the behavior. Like me saying it is not going to do it for you. You have to see the behavior for yourself.
No, that's true. That's true. I've traveled, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ms. Rue. Go ahead.
Thanks. I was just going to say, because, in countries where, for example, you still have the caste system in place, right? A lot of what we're talking about are the highest caste people. And the highest caste women would not be permitted to marry anyone outside of their race and culture and religion, let alone, you know, a black man or someone who's darker than them, right? Because again, caste is everything.
Yeah, on the average. On the average. Yeah.
Right. So when we're looking then again at people who are from that country who would be permitted to marry outside of their race, culture, and religion, especially to a black man, because that would be important, it would have to be permitted by the family, you would again be looking at someone who probably wasn't quite reared in the same way. Right, because they would have had, you know, a completely different life, a completely different set of restrictions and examples set upon them. Right, a lot of people who are in the lowest castes in these countries, you know, are living in poverty, often don't have, you know, fathers or husbands in the house to help for one reason or the other. A lot of them have to travel and be away almost all the time to bring whatever little food they can home and stuff like that. So, I mean, you're looking at, and I guess that was my point. My point is that, yes, I agree culturally, right? You leave this basically westernized anywhere and you go anywhere else. And yeah, culturally, we've got children who are being, you know, raised to be husbands and wives, and, you know, everything's really different. And I agree with that. I would just, again, I still think that, you know, when you're looking at ideally what you would kind of want overall, that those people wouldn't be allowed to marry someone who's American or whatever.
No. See, that's one of those falsities again. So as far as this caste system goes, there are caste systems in some countries, yes.
That's in a few countries. That's not everywhere.
That's in a few. Yes, that's in a few countries. That's not even close to everywhere. That's like a very.
I've never seen that.
Especially the type of caste you're talking about, where it's like only the upper echelon are
like India. India's
India and things like that.
A small amount of countries.
Yeah, I mean, they have a high population.
Yeah,
they have a high population. Of course, they have a high population, but you know, again.
That doesn't work
for the majority of the world. They're just citizens living in a country like everywhere else. And again, this is why I said it's important to see it for yourself, because again, someone can explain all day and then you'll have a rebuttal like the one you had, and then it'll make someone think otherwise when all they have to do is just go see for themselves. And again, that caste system you're describing is very specific. So everywhere else, they just have citizens, and those citizens are free to do whatever they want. So,
well, you know, I guess the reason why
you were a fan of Flavor of Love. Could you explain that?
So that shit was funny as fuck. No, like I'd never seen anything like it. I guess I like, you know, I couldn't even imagine that this was reality TV. I'd never seen people like this. Flav was just the most hideous thing I'd ever seen, and these women were all vying to like kiss him and be like, "Oh my god, you're gonna kiss him! You're gonna, ew, you kissed him!" Like that. Like,
well, then, do you realize how we're judged by the most ugliest motherfuckers they pick?
Do you know one of the side effects of money can do to women in this nation? Do you know what that can do for you?
Yeah, but God,
so he said,
damn.
Can I get the money? You know what I'm saying?
He ain't have enough. I'm sorry. There's just not enough money in the world.
Men have known this since the ancient days. Money.
But you see, then you know what though?
I'm about to die. I'm making room. Y'all finish this conversation. I'll be in the chat room.
All right. See, but here's the thing though. Money can only buy you so much, because if you think about it, right? A whole bunch of them would sit there. They were willing to go, I'll go down on this man, sleep with him, whatever, right? Anything to win. But here's who wasn't. Hoops. Hoops really was not about that. Like, she didn't even let that man barely touch her the whole entire show, and she still won. Why? Because there were the ones who were trying to be that it girl, trying to be the pretty one, trying to be the popular one for once in their lives. And then there was Hoops, who probably always was, right? So she didn't feel the same need to sell herself and to give it all away to keep the man the same way that the other ones did. And you can see that difference. She clearly was the most attractive. That's the only reason why she
I was just about to go there. I was just about to go there. All she did was size herself up against the competitors and realized that she had a significant advantage, and then took advantage of that. That's all that was.
I don't know. I didn't watch the show. I'm not a reality show guy, so I just didn't watch it. I just know. I just look at it from a more, I guess, a man base of it. Look, Flavor Flav, all this ugliness and all of that. He got money, and there are women out there who would like to get some access to it. Period. For me, as
Right.
man.
But I know what she's talking about. I watched that show back in the day. I mean, all she did, again, she sized herself up against her competitors, just like any woman would do when they're young. Again, this is why I say women get black pills so fast. I mean, the second men start paying attention to them, they figure out that their social currency is attention and their genetics. They go look in the mirror, place themselves on the totem pole, figure out what the fuck they are, and then they go, oh shit, this is what I have to do to win. and Hoops compared herself against the competitors and was like, "Oh, this is easy," and she acted accordingly. That's all she did.
She didn't even like kiss that man until like the second last episode, and she
wasn't
won.
supposed to.
And that kid's name is George Stinney. The book. I'm sorry, the book. He's holding up that book. The man not. I got that book. That kid's name, who I use as my avatar there. His name is George Stinney. 14-year-old that was executed.
You know, I didn't check your profile. I just noticed it now.
Yeah.
I did not know she had that, man. I just said, oh shit.
Yeah.
I just got this book, so.
I've been had that. I read that. I look, Dr. Tommy Curry, man. I follow him all the time. I follow him a lot. You know, we get to talking about man issues and male studies, black male studies, and all of that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to derail the conversation.
Wow.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know this story. Thank you for bringing it to my attention, though.
What story? What, George Stinney?
George Stinney, yeah.
You didn't know about George? Oh wow!
Mm-mm.
Maybe because I assume that everybody know who he is or who he was. George Stinney Jr. You know, he was executed at 14 for a crime for killing women.
The little that he didn't kill, obviously.
No, he didn't. He didn't. And they posthumously commuted his sentence. They reversed his sentence.
Yeah, they pardoned him, right?
Yeah, they pardoned him. Yeah, posthumously pardoned him. But he was just a boy. He was just 14 years old, and he was given the electric chair.
Well, this was some good convo tonight. I'm about to wrap it up. So, parting shots. Anybody pull the trigger?
All right. Well, you know, as a lady, I guess I'll go first. You know, I'm sure the gentleman will have something to say about what my parting shots are, which still comes down to this. You know, I think we could go back and forth on this all day. You know, bringing up little points, which ultimately would bring us down to what I have to say, which is this. You know, if you were born into a two-parent household with stable parents who loved you, supported you, but most importantly, loved and respected each other, then you were modeled and likely then therefore raised up with the kinds of behaviors and the kind of training you would need to be a good husband and a good wife. It's the reason why my whole entire life I refused to date someone unless I knew that their parents were together, because I wanted someone who was husband minded. So now with that being said, you don't have to go outside of the country. Likewise, if you do, that doesn't mean you're going to guarantee to find someone who was, right? And so this is why I speak to men, I speak to women, I say the same thing. You know, you're going to have to learn how to evaluate people's core beliefs, you know, their morals, and, you know, what's important to them. You're going to need to learn how to evaluate that. And I think that's going to be your best protection and your best way of choosing an actually good mate who's going to pay off and, you know, be a good spouse, you know, a good provider, protector, a good raiser of your children, if you're going to have children, you know, whatever it is. I think we need to be better evaluators of humans as, you know, as a whole. Those are my final words. And thank you for having me, Brother X. Always a pleasure. I haven't been on D.X.L in a minute, but thank you.
Absolutely. Anytime, Lady Ruby. You already know. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'll go. I mean, real simple. Um, get educated on feminism, guys. You have to know what you're up against. You can't walk around thinking that this is small potatoes. They've been gathering power for the last century. We are way behind. I mean, you look at how the laws are today. I mean, everything I'm saying is researchable. I have videos on it with the research, with the citations, with the statutes, all of this shit. So this is not a game. You have to understand what you are up against. Then only then will you understand how serious it is and the steps you need to take to beat it. The only way you're gonna get past this is to starve their money, which is to walk away. You really don't have another option. The only other option you really have is the one that they're doing themselves, and that has nothing to do with men. Feminism wants to take care of their own. Feminism wants to monetize their own bodies. They want to do that themselves, so that's not even you. And they have the vote to do it, so they're going to push it through. But if you think you can beat this through conventional means, you just can't. And it doesn't take that many men. I'm not addressing this towards like motherfuckers who don't have their shit together. It takes men that have their shit together to do this. You need about 8 to 10% of men to walk away and starve the welfare system that's feminism, and then you'll start to see results. But until then, if men are serious about walking away from basically what is welfare pussy, then you can't expect to make any change. So, I mean, once again, understand what you are up against and then take action from there. I mean, don't listen to me. Go research the laws for yourself. I have a video that can get you started, but just understand that you're not going to fucking beat this in a head-up fight. There are bullets pointed at you. All you can do is run into them. So that's all I got.
All right, I'll go. I actually wanted to go before you, Zero, because I know you had a little bit more profound things to say on that than certain things I do. But I'll say this. Yeah, look, in terms of black men, I know not all, as someone would say. But personally, me, I'm at the point where I am actively encouraging black men to jump ship and go for, in particular, black women of other cultures. And the reason why, because you're going to be a lot happier. Sure, can they come over here and file, do the whole child support, ring it through the court and all that? But you know what? They're not conditioned to do that type of shit. Some will, but most of them won't. So that's what I would say on that. When it comes to the feminism piece, look, Zero is absolutely right. You got to know what you do have to know what you're up against. And just like he always says, there is no voting your way out of that. I don't mean, we can go to the ballot box every 2 years or whatnot, and then just go through 2 years of hell in between. Now those tools they've gotten the game, as the good professor said, they got the game locked in box. There is no beating them in the political realm, and there is no political game to beat it. The only game that's out there to beat it, to defeat it, is to starve the beast of the money and sperm and dick. You starve them of that, they'll get right. And like I said, not everyone, just a good 10, 20% of those of us who got their shit together and successful, stop fucking with them and be open about it. So that's all I would have on it.
Hold on a second, brother. Perfect Blackness, man. Me and you, we got to get up, man, so we can do a little stream on this child support and custody shit, man.
Absolutely, man. Hey, I think you got me email. Let me know, man.
Okay. Next, brother Chaos.
Yeah, man. This was a very interesting show. I'm hoping that you do round 2 with this with these ladies and see where it goes from there. They gotta really see the real overall picture, and they're not really seeing it because they're not hearing it from a male's perspective. And I think you did a pretty fair job tonight with one of them. I mean, I think it should go a little harder, but yeah, that we'll know next time, hopefully. I think
I didn't really have to go hard. I mean, I didn't have to go hard, to be honest. I really did. I was expecting to, but it wasn't what I expected. I expected more. I expected more of a challenge, but she didn't really come to. She didn't really come to challenge me. I I got the impression that she came to kind of explain, why, these old mamas do what they do and, the situations behind it and all that kind of stuff. She didn't really come to like challenge me. I was kind of geared up for a challenge, because I had documents all ready to share the screen and all that kind of shit, but I didn't have to do any of that because, she didn't come to like give me like a challenge on my talking points. It was more so like she was just explaining them, so to speak, you know. But you know, she did concede to some point. She did, agree that, to a certain extent that these old mamas is crazy, So the next time she come around, I don't know, maybe when she come around next time, she'll come around with some more challenges or whatever. But I appreciate her coming on. I mean, she's welcome to come back on, sometime in the future if she want to. It's all good. If that's what she want to do. Oh, good look on that. Hold on a second, Chaos. Good look on that Cash App, brother Ricardo. Appreciate that, man. Good look on that, brother. Yeah, she didn't really come to, she didn't really come to like challenge like that. She came more of, just kind of explaining the side. So, it kind of caught me off guard because I expected her to come with a little more heat, but she didn't. So, it is what it is. That's why I didn't, break out the stat sheets and all that kind of shit because just didn't seem like I needed to do. Oh, good. Hold on a second. Good look on that Cash App, brother. Cichlid. Good look on that, man. Appreciate that, brother. Good look on that. Yeah, she didn't come with the, but me, I'm consistent. I'm still gonna say the shit I'm gonna say now. My talking points never change when it comes to these old mamas. You know what I'm saying? It just, that's just the way it is. But she didn't really come to challenge a point, so it was more of like a discussion. It was more of an exchange as opposed to, a counter to the T.P.O.T. Old Mama series talking points. So it's all good. Maybe she'll come back again and we'll see what happens. But I appreciate you coming on, brother. All right. You're welcome here anytime, man. You already know.
Okay. All right. And
You already
one
know.
thing I will say in conclusion about even with this feminist thing, and I learned from other people that did a little deeper research. I think I'll take their research more than the people that was up here tonight, to be fair. But we can go on that another time. But I'm gonna let you go and on your show. Thank you again. We'll talk again soon.
All right. Peace, brother. Thanks for coming through. And good look on that super chat, brother Marco. Brother Marco always dropping coins on this damn platform, boy. He must like this platform. Yeah. Me, I'm gonna close out, like this. Lady Nichelle was on, she came on. Like I was just telling Brother Chaos, I thought she was gonna come with with a little more heat, and really kind of give old X the business. But I don't think she came for that. I think she kind of came to, give more of a woman's perspective. And the stuff we always hear, oh, well, the reason why women do this because of X, Y, and Z. I think that she came more on, on that level. I don't think she was here to get into a firefight, with me or nothing like that. That's not what that's not what I think she came here for. But I think it was a decent enough conversation. Um, a lot of questions that I asked her, that I did ask her, I didn't get the answers to. So I will be keeping them on deck for her. But the next time she come through, and I'll be letting her know that, hey, lady, you didn't answer my damn questions. God damn it, the last time you was here. God damn it, I'm gonna ask them again. But let me say this, man, in closing. The reason why, and also let me also say this. She didn't change my mind any about these old mamas. I mean, she didn't change my mind any. I mean, at all. Not even a little bit. Didn't even move the needle. So, you know, I still think what I think because what do you see here? This is what you see, man. These are just random snapshots in time of these old mamas. And these pictures are pretty light because I've got some stuff that's way more graphic than this that I would probably get banned if I put the pictures up here. This is why, like I told her, this is why I say the things I say about these old mamas. All right? I'm not talking about you ladies out there that do what you got to do, man, and take care of them kids and put your babies in front of all this other shit that's going on in your life. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the ones who don't do that. I'm talking about the ones who leave their kids alone to burn the fucking house down. I'm talking about the ones who them babies come to and tell them that them creeps is coming in their room at night and they deny it, pretend it's not happening, blame the kid. I'm talking about the ones who walk around with $500 worth of hair in their head and red bottom shoes and brand new dresses while the damn kids is eating roaches and their feet hanging out their sneakers. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Let's not play here. Like I told Lady D.X.L earlier, when I use the word these, it's an adjective. It's descriptive. It's specific to these old mamas. Now, am I saying every damn black woman is like that? Of course not. That'd be stupid to say. But it's way too many of them like that. Way too many. There's way too many of them who got total reign over these children's lives. Something that they shouldn't have because a lot of them, to be honest with you, don't deserve it. They don't even deserve to have control over these children's lives. A lot of these people are just fucking irresponsible, man. They're irresponsible as shit and shouldn't be in charge of raising anyone, let alone 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 of people. A lot of these goddamn people don't even have the fucking mental faculties to raise a hamster or a gerbil, a bird. But there they are, raising 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, 9, 10 human beings, abusing them, neglecting them, mistreating them, raising them in poverty and shit, dragging creeps home for them to be molested and touched and tortured. What pisses me off more than anything else about these old mamas is they allow these children's childhood to just be taken. And not just from the abuse and neglect and molestation, for how the children have to live. A lot of these children they're not even able to be kids, man. Just because of who they old mammy is. And that's just the truth. And I will stick to my guns. And I will say this till I'm dead. Nope, my mind didn't get changed tonight. Probably won't get changed any night. No matter what mama come up here. Won't get changed any night. Because we see it. We read about it. Some of us lived it, man. Some of us survived it. It's just the way it is. And it happens to so many of us. This is why we don't like to talk about it. It's prolific, man. These ain't these little tiny isolated incidences that only happen to like 1% of black folks. We know that's not true. Happens to so many of us. It happened to so many of us. It's happening to so many of us right now. So if you are a mama out there and you're doing what you're supposed to do, as far as those kids are concerned, I can respect that. But I don't have any respect, and I mean any respect, for the women that I've described tonight. These women ruin these children. They ruin them. They ruin them totally. Why? Because they're selfish. They care more about themselves. They care more about what they want. They care more about being with men. And the sad thing is, a lot of these children, all they are is a byproduct. I mean, a freaking byproduct of the men that the old mammy laid down with. Nothing more. Be honest with you, and I know this sounds kind of fantasy or wishful thinking, but I think the term mother, mama, mammy should be changed. I don't think you should be considered a mother just because you dropped the kid out of your funky hole. When that baby's born, they need to make your ass fill out some paperwork. Paperwork saying that you are committed to taking care of this child, protecting this child, doing what's right by this child. And there's stipulations to it. Because if you don't hold up the bargain, God damn it, you don't get to keep the child. And I also believe that if you're a brother and you want this child and you want to be in this child's life, I think you should have first dibs. That'll hold the baby for 2 or 3 days and, oh, that's it. Take the baby home. Sue me for visitation, girl. That's what I believe. Because a lot of these freaking women, man, and I know this bothers us black folks because, you know, we worship our old mammy. Let's be honest, man. Just because this girl can lay down and fuck and drop a baby out doesn't make her a mother, man. I think it's more to it than that. The mothering starts after that. I think we get it confused as black folks. Just because she can pump them out, she's a mother. Yeah, you know, feed them and maybe buy them some clothes and stuff them in an old roach-infested freaking apartment some damn where. It doesn't make them a mother, man. I believe black society will change if we had more mothers and less, considerably less, of shit. What's wrong with my damn soundboard, man? My soundboard been fucking up all night, y'all. I don't know what's going on. Hold on a second. I gotta check something. My shit ain't been operating on cue like it's supposed to, y'all. The fuck, man? This is some craziness. What the hell? Let's see what happens. Let's try that again. I think black society would be better if we had more mothers and less of. Still ain't working. Still not working. I don't know what happened, y'all. My soundboard's out. God damn it. Can't even play my goddamn triggers. That's some bullshit. That's some bullshit, y'all. I can't even play my triggers. I don't know what happened to my soundboard, y'all. This shit just went out like just now. It's crazy. Man. Probably a wiring problem or some shit. Damn, that means I can't even play no exit music. That sucks. See that shit? That shit is not working. I mean, literally not working. It is not working, y'all. I don't know what happened. Well, anyway, I appreciate y'all coming through tonight, man. Always a pleasure, man, to have y'all up here, man. Be up here with you good folks, man. Good show tonight, man. Wasn't what I expected, but it turned out to be a good conversation just the same. I appreciate everybody coming out tonight, man. I want to thank Lady Ruby. I want to thank Perfect Blackness, Brother LaShan, Brother Zero, and my guest of honor, Lady Nichelle, for coming through tonight and making an attempt to defend these old mamas. Making an attempt to defend these old mamas. Yeah, she made a good try. But yeah, what I need y'all to do now, though, is get on down to Facebook, man. The Facebook page, Proper Thought Series on Facebook. That's Proper Thought, one word, series, the next word on Facebook. That's our main page. It's a community page. It's not a personal page. So go ahead, like the page, share the page, follow the page. You can even drop old X a line on there. I'm guaranteed to get back to you within 24 and 168 hours on that page. You can keep up with what's going on the T.P.O.T I YouTube page as well. So go ahead and check out the Proper Thought Series main page, the community page. And while you're on Facebook, get on down to the Proper Thought Series fan group page. That's the Proper Thought Series fan group page on Facebook. Go ahead, request to be a member. You're guaranteed to get in there quick. I'm an admin now. I've been an admin for like a month and a half now. I've had the shit for like 3 years, and I finally decided to make myself an admin because well, actually, I didn't make myself an admin. I told my admins to make me a goddamn admin because they be blocking folks and keeping folks out and all some kind of nonsense. So now I'm an admin. So if you have any problems getting in the group, just hit me up, drop me a line. I'll make sure you get in there. All right. It's a fan group page, so it's a bunch of people down there posting and all that kind of shit, putting shit up. So, you know, you ain't just got to listen to old X run his mouth all the time. There's other fools down there running their old mouths too. Also, check us out on WhatsApp and Instagram. That's Prophet of Thought. Leave out the series on Instagram. Go ahead, follow us on Instagram. You're guaranteed to get a follow back. And you know we're going to end the night like this. Get your black behinds down to Twitter. The Twitter handle is at T.P.O.T Media on Twitter. That's at T.P.O.T Media on Twitter. Go ahead, follow us on Twitter. Because if you don't, you already know I'm going to haunt your black ass mom in her dream tonight, and I will come back every night until you follow me. So once again, I want to thank everybody, man, for coming out tonight, man. I appreciate all of y'all, man. I do. I appreciate every single one of y'all, man, for coming through tonight. And I also want to thank my guests once again. We might do a debate on Saturday, folks. I'm not sure. I'm kind of working on it. Don't hold me to it. I am going to try, I promise. But yeah, man, once again, man, it's good being up here with you good folks, man. And I will leave you with 3 words because I don't got no outro music because my board is fucked up. Maybe it'll be fixed the next time y'all see me. but I will leave you just the same with 3 words. Open your mind. Peace, folks.
Only from the Prophet of Thought series media.
Open your mind.